So, welcome to session 47. Like we talked about previously, it may be a little short, but we'll see what happens. So, previously, you had followed Tyrande to the Red Carpentry Guild, which you discovered was a meeting place for the Grey Cult. You managed to take out the Grey Cult and the Chaos Altar, but blew up the building in the process. You met with Jared and reported on the Grey Cult. You met with the Nexus Guild on the 16th, where you discussed the cults, where Carl talked about finding the head of the cult while simultaneously returning to Lumav to delve into the weapon. As such, you depart for Delsara City in Lumav on the 25th, which is tomorrow. Oreo found out about the Walpurgin, which you attended last night. You learned about a kidnapping performed by the Sword of Justice, Artega of House Ratau. You learned about a hatchery with House Newit fronting the costs beneath the Blackstone Blade. You investigated the area around Bortry Street Well, and you wound up finding and rescuing the captive. After dealing with that, you then um, found your way into the Blackstone Blade, where you infiltrated what you believe to be the hatchery. So I'm going to go ahead and take you to the map. And there we go. So you have entered the hatchery, and as you enter, a strong, pungent odor fills your nostrils. The scent of rot and decay, perhaps even blood. And around you, you see you're flanked by doors. There are two metal doors, and the metal doors have bars in them, which you can see through. I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. And then you have three sturdy-looking but regular wooden doors and the other side of those doors appear to be quiet at the moment. And as far as what you can see inside, I will give you a sneak peek. So let's see how I want to do this. So something like that.
Oh, bloody hell.
Uh-oh.
So there, you can get a peek. And here, and at the bottom door, you can also get a peek.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Okay.
Several adolescents. And they're caged, and we can see in there, huh?
Yeah, there's basically between there's the metal door. It's like a cell door where you got the little window with the bars across it. So your vision isn't awesome, but it's enough to see in there.
Is that someone up in the cell?
Looks like it.
You do see what appears to be a living person in the cell. You also see a number of stone bodies throughout.
What about this one? Do I see any people in this one as I'm
Not that
peeking
you
through?
can not that you can see from there.
Um, I mean, I get it. We can probably check the other spots, but I do want to say that if we have the wand of fireballs ready for us, then maybe this room can take care of maybe this. I know that they're resistant to fire, but it could
Uh,
still do something.
I think
We might have
maybe leave.
something better than fire.
Yeah,
Go
I'm
ahead.
thinking that this looks like a good spot for Moonbeam.
Okay. Do we want to check the other drawers first?
Yeah, let's do that before we get into anything crazy, because we want to make sure that we're not dealing with any uncontrolled reinforcements.
And we don't hear anything on these sides of the doors, Jeremy?
You do not hear anything, no.
Is it locked?
It is, yes.
I'd like to unlock it. So give me a sec.
Okay. You fairly easily unlock the door. The locks appear to be a bit shoddy in this place, or at least on these doors. And as you open it up, you notice that it seems to be some sort of storage room. You see crates and barrels. You see a pile of hay. Um, However, one thing that looks a little odd is you see what appears to be a human hand sticking out of the hay.
Uh-oh.
Ragu.
Here I come. I go over there, and I'll go ahead and just take out my rapier and poke the hand.
You poke it,
Like just,
and as you do so, you slice into it easily enough, and it starts bleeding.
Maybe
okay,
just
I was just going for
dig
a little
out.
poke to see if it, yeah.
Yeah, just dig it out. See what it is.
I reach down and grab it by the arm and just pull up out of the hay.
You do so, and you pull out this robed figure. He's wearing a black robe, and you can see that his clothing is bloodstained, and the figure does
Is it
not respond as you pull him out.
is it dead? Should be able to tell that.
It's as far as you can tell.
Okay.
The robe, does
Yeah,
it
I
look
don't think
familiar
this guy
to
made
us?
it.
Is the robe
It looks
like
somewhat similar to some of the robes that you saw at the Walpurgin.
so a potential person from the Sword of Justice?
Yeah, look at the face, see if we recognize it.
You don't recognize him specifically. He wasn't at the Walpurgin. You just happen to recognize some other people wearing similar robes.
Hmm.
Anything on him?
Yeah.
You search him, and it looks like somebody already got to him because you don't find anything other than his clothing.
Hey Ragu, do you want to dig around this place? I'll help you out.
Sure. I'll go ahead and see what I can find.
You look like you could benefit from my expert guidance.
Why, thank you. That will help as well. All right.
Okay? You dig around, and
24.
in the hay you find that there's a couple more bodies stuffed in the hay, except the ones toward the bottom are far more mangled, and one of them looks like one of his limbs is partially petrified.
Is there any way that that search could have also helped with the other boxes and stuff? Like I was helping him out for the whole room.
Fair enough. Yeah, you search the room and you find some supplies. Probably most noticeable is you find lots of rope. You find some chains, a couple of mediocre locks, keys that appear to go to those locks. You find some pots that, from the smell, seem to have been used for certain bodily functions. And then you find some barrels that seem to be full of water.
Take the
Something,
keys at least. Sorry, go ahead.
something that strikes me odd here is, based on what we saw in the adolescent cell, obviously I have reason to feed people to these creatures, so why are these bodies in here instead?
Well, some of them were partially petrified. Maybe they were just scooping the poop out of the cages.
And I mean, this is also kind of like a storage room. Maybe they're keeping the things here so they can feed it every once in a while. Kind of keep a storage of dead bodies.
Yeah, but I thought the
Maybe,
Kylon
although,
needed living bodies to eat.
yeah, I mean, saw what looked like a live person in the adolescent cage.
Well, you also said, Ragu, that or whoever was digging up the belongings of this thing, there's pretty much, it's empty, it's cleaned out. If someone's been here before, maybe they took care of something and they thought this was the best place to hide them.
Could be, could be.
Maybe we should check out the other rooms.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Does this look locked?
It definitely is.
I will go ahead and try to lock in now. Pico, can you actually help me with these locks, please?
Sure, I will allow me to offer my expert guidance while I'm
Oh,
at it.
okay, doke. So, does that make it? I'll roll it anyway, just because he did it.
So that's a 26 because he's helping you. Yeah, so that makes it. Well, I
Mm-hmm.
actually had 29 because of that, but the
Yeah.
26 on its own is good enough. All right, so you open up another storage area, And you see this one is lined with large crates, there's a broken box, barrel, and several empty clay pots.
Ragu, I'll help you out. Check this out.
Coming right up. Let me look around.
You seem like you haven't hit your quota of expert guidance for the day either.
Okay,
Why, thank you.
so
26.
you search the room and you find that the crates are definitely full uh, of chains and manacles. There's plenty of rope. There's um, there's tools, including what looks like some sort of rake or something like that. A tool for dealing with the hay. Some small shovels and that kind of thing. And the pots seem like they are full of wet and sometimes crusty hay.
Okay. Hmm. This is probably for when they have to move them.
Do we know? I mean, I guess we haven't really studied much about how Kylon are like reared or how they're bred or anything, but is there anything that would kind of point to how vases are used and stuff?
Sorry, rephrase the question.
Do
Or
these vases have anything to do with the breeding process of these things?
you suspect it's more to deal with the people involved, especially people likely to be fed to the Kylon.
Okay.
Food maintenance, huh?
Uh, was there another room or was it just this one? These two?
I think
There's a
I think
third.
that there's one more.
All right. Help me out.
You go and you approach that door, and
Uh,
you notice that there is a lock on there, but it looks like somebody broke it, and the door is partially open, or
can I just
it's.
put
Oh, go ahead.
can I just put my ear on it and see if I can hear anything?
You do. And as you listen, um, you hear what sounds like something scratching, and you hear noises of what looks like wood splintering.
I'm looking at both Ragu and Pico. Um,
I
not really saying much,
grab
but
out.
I'm kind of, yeah.
I grab out my sword and nod.
Hold on. Mentally to both of them. Let me just scout real quick. Um, I'm gonna have Fire Lily take spider form and turn invisible.
Okay.
And I guess lacking a alternate token, I'll just move myself for this for the now. You said the door was open, right? Or a little bit?
A little bit, yeah. So if you're not opening it further, I'm just going to move your character over, and what you see is several Kylon adolescents that seem to have somehow broken into here, and they seem to be tearing things up, almost like they're looking for something. Um, but what's odd is that the door was mostly closed. Obviously, they broke in, but one of them must have pushed it towards being closed.
I've seen what I need. I'm popping back out.
Okay.
Mentally to them, 3 Kylon adolescents scavenging in there, which, taking a look at this cage door here, does there look to be anything compromising the lock?
You look at it, and you noticed as you look closer that unlike the door to the north, this door seems to have several bulges in the metal, and you come to realize that while it was closed, it's not unlike the door to the north. It's not actually locked properly. It was locked, but the lock was broken.
All right, everybody out of view. Ragu, do you have the ability to mend?
I nod my head yes.
Mend that lock now.
As quietly as I possibly can. Mend.
Does men have a vocal component?
Um
Okay, it does. So that means I'm going to have to ask you to make a stealth roll.
Okay. As
Hold on.
quietly as.
Let's think first. Does the door look like it swings outward?
Um, it looks like it swings. It swings. Let's see what it'd be. Yeah, it would swing outward towards you.
All right. Let's give this a moment here.
Just
Can you,
mentally
can
to
you,
you, Pico. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say just mentally to you, Pico. I can whisper very quietly if you give me a little guidance, but I think we
Can,
can do this.
can you describe, Jeremy, how the door is positioned again for the one in front of Ragu?
Okay, so yeah, basically, the hinge would be basically right where his token is, and it would
Okay.
swing outward into the hallway. The door is closed, but there's obviously a lock on there that has. It looks like instead of being broken like you would like with a hammer, it looks like somebody pushed on the door and actually kind of snapped it from the inside.
Is there anything along the outside of the door to like put bars in or anything else that sticks out against the wall next to the door frame? Like
It
if I,
Yeah, it looks like there was a there's kind of hooks to put a bar on, and there's some hooks on the door on the wall, but there's no bar.
so okay, you said that
I
there was a
I
lot of rope in the other room, right?
Yes. Yep.
I'm gonna start. I know you guys do what you guys want to do, but I'm doing like a plan B kind of setup. I'm gonna pick
Okay.
out all of the rope that I can get,
Mentally direct.
and
oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
go
I
back
was
to
gonna
the door and use the hooks to wrap the rope around it.
all right.
Mentally to.
Mentally to go ahead.
I've got an idea to keep them away from the door. If I go ahead and fire Moonbeam just on the inside so that they'd have to stay in that if they want to do anything with the door, that should discourage them from getting anywhere near it. Because that room looked pretty
Uh,
big.
Anyway,
mentally to
Oreo,
Pico to. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, you managed to do that. Um, it's just tying rope around.
Yeah, I know.
Um, So
Actually,
actually, I
that's what I
probably
need to
will
kind of
make you
get in for.
have you make a stealth check if you don't want them to know you're doing it. But I think you have an
Um,
advantage because it's such a simple thing.
So is it a
can I
regular
pause you in for
stealth
a
or
second?
okay?
Sorry, Rego, go ahead.
Mentally, yeah. I wanted to say mentally to Pico to transfer over to Oreo so we don't have to talk. There's lots of wooden planks and boxes and metal bars in that room, not just the rope in the boxes, so you can actually get a bar to go across instead of trying to tie rope.
Okay.
Uh,
Now that he got his message
If
across, Oreo, are you doing? Are you still doing the rope?
I mean, she was poised to just use whatever was handy. So yeah, I mean, sure, we'll get the. I mean, yes to everything. I just want to add stuff to it that doesn't require voice. That's all I'm trying to do, guys.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, there are bars and locks. So you are definitely able to grab a bar and locks if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, you're not talking, and you're just trying to quietly put this on and everything. So I am going to have you make a stealth check, but you have advantage because of the nature of the task.
So just a regular stealth, right?
Yeah. Okay, you do so, and the Kylon don't seem to have noticed.
Okay. Next phase.
okay, mentally to Pico is like, do you want me to cast a spell now? Or
mentally
remember,
to.
we've got that other room over here too.
Right, I was just about to mention that. Um, yeah, we do have the concern about the room with the other adolescents. It's three. And what's being used to block up this metal door that's just Oreo just locked up?
Some metal bars and chains from the other room.
Okay.
If you give me guidance, I can just cast a spell real quiet.
All right. Yeah, I'll go ahead and give him expert guidance. Wait, you don't need that for mending, do you?
No.
Oh no, he's doing a spell
Does your
check.
expert
Verbal
guidance require
stealth.
a vocal component?
Um, it does, although I don't have to give it to him right in this spot. We could pull back and then have him after being blessed with, as long as he does this thing quick enough, that'll cover it.
Okay, fair enough. So, Ragu, go ahead and make your stealth check with your and add a d4.
Okay. Come on, click it.
Okay, that
15.
does appear to be enough, but just barely. Without the expert guidance, that would have been a failure.
So the lock is
So he
currently
casts.
mended.
It's pretty mended. It's probably not in perfect shape, but it would definitely take effort to break again.
Does it look like it's the same set of locks that we found in the other room with a bunch of keys?
Yes.
Can we just Ragu, you pulled one of those keys, right? Can you try just locking it with one of those keys?
Well, sure, I can try. The lock itself was just broken, but
Yeah,
I
you
can make sure
repaired
it
the
is
lock, but
locked
it's
with the
still
key.
unlocked.
So yes, lock it with the key.
Okay, that works. There is a bit of a click. Um, actually, I guess to be fair, you probably know how locks work because of your skills. I'll actually give you a stealth check to see if there's a click.
Okay, I can put a drop or two of oil from my tinker tools on there just to slide it in, and then okay,
Okay, that would
stealth
give
check.
her advantage then.
Me?
Yeah, you're locking it,
Oh.
right?
Oh, I thought
Actually,
Ragu was doing it. But
if
yeah, I
that's
can do
gonna
Oh,
it.
okay, I
happen,
can.
Ragu, block the wooden door, because if the Kylon in that other room trigger, you're gonna have to be the one to run interference.
I very quietly get over to the door with my knuckles and sword, and I nod to Oreo, and she very
Okay.
quietly.
Okay, you manage to lock it or move the keys such that you lock it without a loud click, and nobody seems to be aware of it.
There's a very clear sigh coming out of her because she's getting a little nervous now, but she gives the key back to Ragu.
All right.
Yeah, mentally it's like, this is an ugly situation.
How many adolescent are in in this room that you saw?
3.
I hold up
Three.
everything. Yeah.
Shit. Okay. Well,
Okay, I get right by the door there,
I mean, if we do
and
this, we have to also just close the door behind us because pretty much add another layer of protection against whatever decides to get into this hallway.
I kind of wave up to Pico and say really quickly, make sure that other door is locked too. Just make sure.
All right, I go ahead and check this door.
It's definitely locked.
Okay.
Okay. And this one
So
is locked and barred. We're good. All right.
yeah. So as soon as
I'm
you
right here by
open,
the door.
we
This
just need to
door,
rush in.
however, is not locked, and
Right, right, right.
No.
okay.
Yeah, it's we're just making sure that if worst case scenario, if we're in that room and something decides to go into this hallway, we need to close this door behind us so that we have another layer of protection because there's way more out here than there is in there.
Fair enough.
Yep. Hold on, I want to get a quick head count to the adolescents in here, because
It's way one too many. That's how many there are.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
it's
take out
it's more than one too many.
I'm taking out my daggers that Ragu you energized from last session, so uh I'm getting ready on that.
Okay.
All right. So what do you do?
Sword in one hand, brass knuckles in the other, waiting right by the door. I look left to Oreo, look right to Pico, waiting for a positive. motion.
Yep, I nod.
I nod as well.
Okay, roll initiative.
All right, in we go.
I don't want to
Is this
fight,
our surprise
guys.
round? Is this our surprise round where I kick down the door?
Probably. I
Wait,
actually.
you want to kick it down when we just tried so sneakily to get the other
No,
guy's
I was joking.
attention?
I was I. I was honestly trying to be sarcastic there. I was not really going to kick the door in. We're trying to be
Jeez.
quiet. I was just trying to be funny. I apologize. It was
Timing.
out of character.
Timing.
Out of
Okay.
character comedy.
Too late. I'm just kidding.
Oh, God.
All right, fair enough. So, in that case, the door is still closed. They still don't realize you're there. So, one of the things you could do is you could try to all rush in, but there's then I basically roll and see who's surprised. They're not all necessarily surprised, or you can have one person rush in, get an attack, and then have normal combat start.
If we all rush in though, and we don't care so much for the surprise, but we can set ourselves up for like a flank if we spot one that's close by to us.
Yeah, I would think
I
so.
I think that might be a bit better, maybe. I don't know what you guys think. Because even if I were to get one attack in, that's one attack, and if we've already got some sort of flank going on, we've got a bit more of an advantage, maybe.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
So
open the
okay,
door for you
if
guys.
you want, I don't know how much you want to do this, but oh no, wait, you can't. When you hold an action, you got either an action or a move, but not.
That's right.
Right,
So
correct.
yeah, you're gonna go ahead and be running in first. I'm gonna have to follow your lead and hope we surprise them.
I feel like we're better off taking them in the doorway, so maybe open with ranged attacks and let them pile up at the door.
Maybe? I mean, yeah, I mean, sure, if you guys want to go that route, it's fine.
I was gonna say, remember these things do explode. I don't know how you feel about that, Oreo. I'm willing to take the punch if it keeps them occupied in the back of the room.
The only thing that I'm scared of by keeping them here, though, at this doorway is that that makes a lot of noise, and these guys will pay attention.
Yeah, but they have to break out, so it would at least give us a bit of a buffer. But yeah, we can just. I have no problems running in, and as long as they're all concentrating on what's in the room, then yeah, everybody outside the door can definitely do all sorts of ranged. But if they get them into the doorway here, if they crowd up into the doorway, there's no range bonus anymore.
If you go in, I'm gonna go in with you. I'm not gonna do it from afar. I'm gonna be right up to their
Okay.
face.
Well, I know, but Pico's much better at range. So if we keep him occupied in the back of the room, he can range from out here, and we'll be able to take him out as quick as possible.
So he can stay by the doorway, but let's both of us go in then.
All right, so basically the way surprise works is you roll your relevant attribute or skill based on what you're trying to do versus their passive perception. So in this case, you're kind of rushing in. So I'm not sure stealth makes sense here. So maybe something like
I think stealth would make sense because if she can open the door quietly enough, then she could literally run right in. And the stealth would be for them not noticing the door open until she's already on top of them. And then mine would be just running in right after.
okay, fair enough.
Or at
So
least that's
so
my.
if we do that, basically what that means is that everybody involved would make a stealth check, and then we would compare against their passive perceptions, and then that would determine who notices what. So, like for example, if Oreo rolled a 24 and Ragu rolled an 8, they wouldn't notice Oreo, but they'd probably notice Ragu.
Fair. Okay.
Okay.
So, if the three of
Yeah,
you
I know
then
you
can
can
make
do
your
it, but
stealth checks,
good luck
then,
to me. All right.
and then we'll start from
Okay.
there.
And I know you. Yeah, I know you can do it, Oreo, but I'll do my best.
I believe this one might. Is it tailing or camouflage? I don't know at this point, but it does seem bonus. What is
Tailing
it?
is movement. That's what it would be.
Okay. Thank
Camouflage
you.
is trying to hide still.
Okay. Okay.
See? He did it. You're
And
fine.
Pico, you want to go ahead and make a stealth check?
He might be staying outside the door frame.
Yeah, but this is as he's staying out of sight, his attacks making noise,
Oh,
that kind of
So
thing. It's just to see whether they notice him or not. Okay, so
okay.
all three of you get a full surprise round, which means that you guys get to take your turns, and they can't take any reaction until their turn is over, and in which
Ragu, do
case
you
they get normal
wanna?
reactions.
Are we going in the same turn order, or are we allowed to move our characters in this first
No, you
round?
still go in initiative order.
Okay.
So Oreo, you're first.
So it's open. I'm gonna go in. Shoot. Crap. Which one? Ragu. I look over to Ragu to kind of for like a point. Point me which one.
I'd say 10.
Okay. So I'm gonna. Is that a? I have to climb on a box. Is that what that is over here, or a barrel?
So these are barrels. These are boxes.
Uh, can I somehow squeeze between the barrel and the boxes to get behind that thing? Or do I
Uh,
have to be standing on it? I just want to know what the
you
difference,
would basically have
which.
to. He was basically on top of the boxes, so
Ah,
you would
okay.
have to be on top of the boxes as well.
Okay, so yeah, two movement to get up there, and I'm actually just gonna go ahead and stab because it's a prize run anyway, so gonna go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Um,
Surprise round, yes, you still get sneak attack.
yep.
You hit.
So that plus Ragu, go ahead and do your
Let me remind myself. Do do do.
twice, right? So there you go.
10 points.
All right, so they're resistant to fire. Okay, that's it. All right, so cool. So what's the total then?
That'd be
That's force damage, not fire
33,
damage.
Okay, so he
43.
explodes.
All right, what? And that's a deck save, right?
It is a deck save, so go ahead and
So
give me a deck
and
save.
let me pull out my features just to be sure that I know which one I'm gonna call out. Believe it's evasion, but okay, so here we go.
Okay,
Is that safe?
you manage to dodge out of the way of the explosion, and he explodes, and you somehow avoid getting hurt. Is that the end of your turn?
Yay! I've got
Nice.
a bonus, so I'm gonna go ahead and get onto. Okay, the hexes are really weird for this thing, so I'm just gonna try and put myself here.
Okay,
Um,
here, we'll
I
do
don't know how
this.
that works
There you
out.
go.
Okay,
We'll
there.
do that.
Thank you. Um, and offhand attack it. Is it still considered a surprise round, so I can still attack with
Yep, it's still a
advantage?
surprise round. Yep.
Um,
None of them noticed you. Not until their turn, anyway, and then that effect stops. But anyway, you hit.
that
Do you want the
and
damage?
yep, do that one too.
Second damage?
One, yep, nice.
15
Plus
Nice.
6, so
force
that's
damage.
21.
It's
Yep,
still alive, but you definitely hurt it badly.
I stay put.
All right, Ragu,
Okay.
it's surprise round for you as well. So what do you do?
I'm gonna run right in here. Whoopsh. And I am going to. Where's Char? He's gonna fly up this way, flap in the guy's face, and then get over here. And so I'll have advantage on my first attack against this guy.
Which one are you attacking?
That
Eight or
would
nine?
be
The one that's lower health or the full health? Okay.
the lower one here
Okay,
with
so
my
this guy up
full
here then.
attacks. What's that?
This guy up here then.
No, right here. Can you see me highlighting?
Oh, that guy has full health, so you're attacking the one with full
Yeah,
health.
that's
Okay, I thought you
yes.
said
I
the
am.
one that was
Yeah.
hurt. Go ahead.
Not my bonus attack with my knuckles. It's gonna be for the guy that's hurt.
Okay.
Okay. So that's gonna be Reaper hit 14.
That does hit.
All right. And there's going to be some add-ons here. So that's going to be 10 piercing
Okay.
plus a d8 6. So it'll be 16 points of damage. And he's going to need to make a. strength saving throw.
Okay.
DC 15.
What happens if he fails?
Prone.
Okay, he is prone then.
Okay. And I will make my second attack with advantage because he is prone.
Yep. And you hit.
17 to hit.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to do some stacking on here too. It's going to be 9 points of piercing, unfortunately. And I'm going to, as I am swinging, you hear me in a rough, harsh whisper voice. Oreo, attack!
Excuse me?
Commander's strike means I burn my bonus action to have Oreo burn her reaction to make her make a weapon attack on the adolescent Kylon right there. And since it's on my turn, you can sneak attack.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. Is this guy flanked or no?
No.
This guy right here,
So it's a normal attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
but you have your bonus or your I don't know what it is, advantage or
But
No, I
sneak
don't. But
attack.
that's what I'm asking because I don't know if
Yeah,
that hits.
you do get sneak attack
yeah, but
because
It
okay.
doesn't hit, right, Jeremy? That's
It
the
does.
point.
It does hit. Their AC is
Okay.
13, so it
Okay.
does hit, but
Jeez.
barely.
All right. So this plus this.
Couple of weeks. So both of you make a DC 11 Dex save. Whose is that?
That's mine.
Okay, Ragu, you need yours as well. Okay, you both make it. All right, Ragu, is that the end of your turn?
yeah, because I burned my bonus. He did not get. I just didn't do enough physical damage myself, but I think that worked awesome. Yes, I'm done.
Fair enough. All right, Pico, you see that two of the Kylon have exploded, and the third is currently prone and very badly hurt. What are you going to do?
Yep. Yeah, I was hoping I could get a little bit fancy here, but I guess the option doesn't exist. So I'm going to go ahead and go in there, and I'm just going to go ahead and fling a pair of Eldritch Blasts in from opposite sides of this guy.
Okay.
All right. So that's the first hit, and I'm sure the second one misses.
So the
But
first one hits. Oh, go ahead.
isn't this still technically your surprise round? I think you have an advantage because they don't notice you.
Do normal players have advantage on that? Let me double check.
I mean, that was kind of the only objective of us trying to sneak in is they don't notice you. So if they don't notice you, if they don't notice the attacker, then they.
No, it says you do not automatically gain advantage against a surprise foe, but you do get advantage for being an unseen attacker. So yeah, I guess in this case, Pico was unseen, and so yeah, I guess that counts. So go ahead, Pico. You have advantage.
Does the 9 points kill it anyway?
It does. Okay, well, fair enough.
That was
But
fair.
now you know for the
Yeah.
future. Ragu,
Yeah.
make a DC 11 Dex. All right, and you make it.
All right. I just in the midst of the third explosion that I was able to just dodge, I just kind of have this big toothy grin looking back at Oreo and Pico. It's like, yeah,
And as
we can do this.
as the second round ends, Pico, you hear the sound of something smashing
Ah,
into
crap.
the metal door behind you.
I look at just quickly, Ragu. I take out my daggers again. Can you please?
Snap, you're good.
Thank
So
you.
they haven't actually broken through yet. So I'm going to go ahead and exit from combat. But you can hear Kylon trying to bust through the door. What are you going to do?
I'm not wasting any time on this. I'm going to cast a moonbeam right on the far side of the door.
Okay.
Excellent.
So I will open that back up again. And you still get your moonbeam, but I'm going to go ahead and roll initiative. For all them. You guys can roll initiative, and after you roll initiative, Pico, go ahead and roll your moonbeam damage.
All right. So let's see.
They have
Moonbeam.
to make some sort of dex save or something, or I forget how that works.
I think it's for like half damage. 13.
And what's the radius on the spell?
It is a. It's a 5 foot radius, so basically, yeah, the hex is surrounding a hex. Let me.
Okay, so you'll basically get the three that are right next to the door, but not the ones behind them.
Yeah, let me see.
Okay.
So yeah, I think I'll aim for this spot right here. Oh wait, no, yeah, there's one there. Okay, yeah, I'll aim for right here.
Okay, that's what I assumed you were going to do. Go ahead and roll your damage. Oh, is that 13 your damage?
13.
All right.
Yeah.
And they take half if they succeed?
Yep, half on a successful save.
Oops, let me start that again. I almost did the incorrect DC. Half. All right, it looks like two of them failed. One of them succeeded, but it definitely hurt them all. All right, so we're now at the beginning of round one. Weird. Ragu, they were trying to bust through the door. Um, Pico cast Moonbeam. Are you going to do anything?
I'm gonna. Well, actually, Oreo has the key. I'm
I give it
gonna
back to you.
ready my. Oh, okay. Well, I can get the key ready to unlock and open the door, but I'm not going to do that until everybody else is set. And I mean, you're moonbeaming right there right now. Do you want me to get the door open, or are we holding
Uh,
off?
I'd wait. If you
Gotcha.
got range stuff, this is a
Holding an
great
action.
time to do it.
Um. Oh, yeah, range action. Um, Making sure the key is readily available. I will just lean into the. Where's the little crack there? Okay, I will just Eldritch Blast whoever I can see through the window.
Okay. Well, there's one right in front of the window there. So,
That'll work.
unfortunately, he's close enough that, well,
That would
actually,
impose disadvantage, isn't
yeah,
it?
that is disadvantage because he's like right there. You could try aiming
If I take a
further
step back.
past him, but I believe. Okay, well, that solves everything. So, never mind. You can back up and fire.
Okay.
Okay, you hit the one in front of the door for
For
4 points. Okay, is that the end of your turn?
And is he still around?
Oh, yeah, he's still there. He hasn't
Okay,
had a
then
chance to move or anything yet. All
then
right,
I'll
you hit him
use my
again.
second one. Well, it's just that if he exploded, I was going to use my second beam on somebody else.
Ah, okay, yeah. So 8 points,
8 points.
and he's still there.
That's Eldritch Blast for me. I'll take 2 steps back over there and ready.
Fair enough. All right, Pico, your moonbeam is going. It's a concentration spell, right?
Yes, I can't. I mean, I can only do cantrips and non-concentration stuff right now. I'm going to go ahead and back up a bit, and I'm going to go ahead and fire a pair of Eldritch Blasts at the Kylon in front of the door.
Okay. Okay, that hits, and that hits.
Okay, whopping 2 for the first, and 1 for the second.
Fair enough.
Wow.
All right. So the Kylon there, who was smashing on the door, he is being hurt by this thing. It's painful. So he's going to. Okay, that's what he'll do. So he is going to back up so that he's got a good spot on the door. Do they take damage from leaving the moonbeam?
No, it's when they enter the spell for the first time on turn or start its turn there. So if he's going to charge at the door, he'll re-enter it, and then that'll take damage.
Okay. So what he does instead is you see him open his mouth really wide, or his mouth it just looks like a solid surface, but then it suddenly splits, and these ragged lines, and from his throat, this bile erupts, spraying through the door, and so that would mean that Pico and Ragu make a DC 10 dex save. Okay, whoever that was, you made it. And Ragu, you also made it. So this oily surface now covers the ground. Oreo, what are you going to do?
Gonna step in the spot Pico's at, just gonna squeeze and like, sorry, move, and then shoot an arrow.
Okay. You hit.
Is it considered 5 feet within Ragu?
No, you're not 5 feet within
No,
Ragu.
no, 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 no.
No, no, no.
Is the enemy
Oh, the
5 feet
enemy
within
is, yes.
Ragu?
Yes. All right, he
And
explodes.
sorry.
Oh,
Fortunately, it's okay
good
because the
Oh, thank God.
door basically takes the brunt of the explosion. Of course, that's not helping the door stay solid. Is that the end of your turn?
No, I'm gonna move back here and say, okay, thank you, and then that's it.
All right. So, Adolescent 2 is going to. Okay, so he fires a basically essentially this ball of fire erupts from his mouth, and he's aiming through the holes in the door, which I think will give him disadvantage, and attempting to hit Pico. So we'll see how that works. He has disadvantage because of the door, and there it goes. And unfortunately, with his disadvantage, he hits the door instead. All right. Adolescent 4 rushes toward the door and attacks it. Well, the door's right there, so I'm just going to roll damage. All right. So 4 damage against the door. All right. Adolescent 7 is going to move and fire at Ragu at disadvantage. And it hits the door again. All right, Kylon 6. You notice you can hear this squealing noise as a snap and a squealing noise. And if anybody has a good sight right here, you'll notice that he is actually bending the bars that are closest to him.
That's adolescence. That one that's highlighted
Yeah.
red. Yeah, I can see him.
So yeah, there's bars that are right next to him that apparently had already been damaged, and he's actually in the process of bending those bars for some reason. And Kylon 3 moves forward and starts helping Kylon 6 with the bars. And we're at the end of round 1, so at the beginning of round 2, Ragu, what are you going to do?
Was Kylon 3 out of range of the moonbeam, or was he already in it?
Kylon 4 here is in the...
No, 3, the one that just moved.
Oh, he is out of range, yes.
No, was he in it when he started, or did he have to enter it in order? Oh, never mind. I cast it too low. Don't mind me.
Okay. Anyway, the Kylon next to the door is still in it, so you'll get to roll damage for him on your turn. All right, Ragu, what are you going to do?
Okay, I'm going to take a step here. I can see this guy.
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead and hit him. First blast.
Okay, that actually misses.
Alright, I'm Fred.
It's the door. It's getting into your way. However, you managed to hit with that one.
For a whopping 3 damage.
It hurt him slightly. that the end of your turn?
Um, just out of curiosity, even though it's through a door and a metal grate, can Char fly over here and then fly
No,
out of the
because he
way?
can't really get through the bars.
I didn't mean to get through the bars. I meant to get like right here.
Sure, he can fly
I
by. Yeah,
can he fly by and give help for the next person to attack?
sure.
Okay. I should have thought of that before I didn't, but yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
no problem.
So advantage on the next person to attack him, and yeah,
Is that the end of your turn?
that is.
All right, Pico, go ahead and roll your moonbeam damage before you do anything else.
All right. Let's see. Gonna try and scroll up for last time I. Oh, okay. I still have to do it this way. There we go. Submit.
9. All right. Not enough to kill him, but definitely enough to hurt him. All right, now you have your turn. What are you going to do?
All right. Given that I'm a little bit concerned about what Kylon Adolescent 6 is doing, so I'm going to go ahead and fire a pair of Eldritch Blasts at him.
Okay.
Let's see. So, 1, 2. Okay, well, second one's a crit.
Yep.
Not much of a crit.
But hey, it's more damage than you would have done. That does definitely hurt him. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, that's basically it.
Fair enough. All right. Kylon 5 is going to shoot at Ragu. Actually, no, he's not going to shoot at Ragu. He is going to open his mouth wide, and you see this more of this oily bile erupt from it. And Ragu, go ahead and make a DC 11 dex save, I want to say. Sorry, DC 10 dex save.
Bernie Pukey.
All right.
I would like to. I would like to arcane deflection that, please.
Is that work against saves?
1 second. Yes, it does. It gives me a +2 to AC or a +4 to saving throws.
Okay, fair enough. So yes, this oily substance kind of hits right around where your face is, and then kind of wraps around you as it gets deflected. All right, Oreo. You probably splash with tiny amounts of this oil. What are you gonna do?
Just gonna elbow the two guys, like, move out of the way, and then try and shoot.
All right.
I'm gonna shoot the one that Ragu gave the help with, so I'm gonna do it at advantage.
Okay.
Ooh,
But even with
nope.
advantage, you hit the door instead.
And I go back. That's it.
All right. Kylon 2, mistakenly think you were hit, fires, launches fire at you, Ragu. And with that 7, he definitely does not hit. He hits the door instead. Kylon 4 continues to smash at the door. I'm just going to go ahead and roll damage again. Claws. All right. So you see that the already weakened door is starting to buckle, but has not been smashed through yet. All right. Kylon 7 is going to launch fire at you, Ragu.
Okay.
With an 11, so that hits the door as well. And Kylon 6 seems to be ignoring Pico and continues to bend the bars. You can hear the squeaking noise, and you can see that the gap in the bars is widening, and probably next round it'll be wide enough for him to fit through. Kylon 3 helps him with that, and we're at the beginning of round 3. So Ragu, you look. The Kylon nearest you is almost dead. Kylon 3 and 6 are working at getting through the bars at the far side of the room for some reason, and will probably succeed at the end of their turn. So what are you going to do?
Okay. I'm. I
If
don't
you're
have a whole
talking, I
lot.
can't
I'm
hear you.
just gonna go. Sorry. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot. I'm gonna go ahead and hit him with my first Eldritch Blast and see how that goes.
Okay. It hits the door.
Crap. Okay. Second shot.
That one hits him though, and he
Whopping
explodes.
6.
The
Okay.
door takes it, and the door looks in worse shape, even worse shape. What are you gonna do?
Um.
Or is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, I don't have a bonus action that would be very helpful right now, so that is gonna be the end of my turn. Yeah.
Okay.
Just
So Pico, nobody's in your moonbeam at the moment. So what are you gonna do?
Stepping closer to see what's going on here. I'm going to go ahead and put the moonbeam right here on Kylon Adolescent 3.
Okay, so that should affect 6 and 2 as well. So I'll go ahead and make your roll.
All right. Let's see. All right, that's a good one.
16, 15. There we go. And it looks like they all fail. So, yep, they all take a bunch of damage, with Adolescent 6 being fairly badly hurt. Is that the end of your turn?
Shoot, I think so. Yeah, I'll just, no, I'll back up a 6. Okay, clear room out of the door.
All right.
We might want to try and get in there now.
All right. Kylon 5 moves to the door. He sticks his mouth right on the opening, and the bile erupts. So all three of you, go ahead and give me a DC 10 Dex save. Okay. Pico, you are covered in this oily bile. Ragu, you are also covered in the oily bile.
I would like to, yeah, I would like to burn my reaction again.
Okay, fair enough. And Oreo, you dodge it easily. So after dodging so much bile, Oreo, what are you going to do?
Oh, I still don't have much I can do here. If I move into this space and then move out, am I provoking opportunity?
I believe so, because he has his flame, which is basically like a cantrip. But he would have
Okay.
disadvantage to hit you with it because it's a ranged thing.
All right, I'll try that. So I'll go ahead and get into this space and attack it with the my daggers.
Okay. Yeah, you obviously hit.
Ragu, go ahead and do your Eldritch on those.
Okay.
All right, so he explodes, and normally I've been saying the door's in the way, but since you're actually reaching in there, I'm going to make you have you make a Dex save, but you have advantage because most of your body is still covered by the door.
Okay.
Okay, and you do make it. So he explodes, and you're able to retreat.
And yep, I see where. So are we actually going in? I look at you guys. Are we really
Yeah.
going in
I
now?
was I'm about to open the door unless you can open it. Or did I have the key?
Yeah, I kind of want to lure the Kylon back towards us.
So yeah, I mean, I can't do
Yep,
it on my action though, so you have to do it.
not a
Can
problem.
can I somehow, Jeremy, as a bonus, just put the key into the slot, like taking it from Ragu and just put it in there, like I haven't twisted it yet or anything?
Well, since Ragu has the key, I would say you probably have to do it on his turn.
All
If you
right,
already had the key, then you could do it as basically a free action.
got it. All right, that's it.
Okay. All right. Kylon 2. Okay, so he is going to step and flame, and he is going to flame at Pico. Now, because you are coated in the substance. Oh, I'm sorry, Pico. I forgot a small detail. So when you are coated in the bile, you actually gain one level of exhaustion, and you are vulnerable to fire for 1 minute, which means has advantage, but he has disadvantage because of the door, so that works out to nothing.
Does the exhaustion go away when I don't have the bile on me?
That is correct.
Okay.
Anyway, he does. Oh wait, 17. Is that actually good enough to hit you? It is. So he does actually hit you, and you're vulnerable, so it'll actually do 2d8, or sorry, double damage. So you take 12 points of damage. Ignore that four. I forgot how the vulnerability works.
Okay.
All right, and because you're exhausted, you come with all the detriments of normal
Oops.
detriments of that. All right, and Kylon 7 is actually going to be smart. He's going to move down and take advantage of the same situation against Pico.
I'm just going to double check something here real quick. Yeah, never mind. Okay.
Anyway, that 16 is a hit, which means you take another 12 points of fire damage. Ragu, you can see Pico is coated with this oily substance, and he's basically catching on fire as these balls of fire hit him, and it is frying him at the moment. All right,
Yeah.
Kylon 6. Despite the fact that it is going to die, tears at the bars, and you hear this loud noise as it finally breaks free and moves through. However, it just left the range of your spell, so means it gets damaged. Is that correct, Pico?
No, it's when it starts its turn or enters.
Oh, okay. Yeah, in that case, he's inside. All right. Kylon 3 will also move through, and we're at the beginning of round 4.
Let's
All
see.
right.
Actually, what are the concentration checks? I just realized that's a
Oh,
issue.
I think it's something like 5 plus the amount of damage you took. So that would
It's
be.
supposed it's supposed to be half damage, but if the damage ends up being less than 10 points, then DC becomes 10.
Okay.
So 12 would still be a DC 10.
Yeah.
So you got two DC 10s then.
All right. Just to make this easy, I'm just going to roll that at disadvantage.
Okay. I
No,
guess that means the
you rolled
moonbeam
two
is gone.
separate. Oh,
No,
that's
but yeah,
kind
he
of
had to
fucking
roll
way to do that,
twice.
Dave.
So it didn't. Basically, he's rolling the 2d20s at the same time.
Oh,
So yeah, so the moonbeam is gone. All right, Ragu, the Kylon have entered the caged area for some reason. What are you going to do?
all right. I'm gonna do a bunch of things, and none of them are gonna be smart. Crap. As my movement, I'm going to step forward first. Um, as my actual action, cantrip clean, get all that goop off of Pico, and the fire's also off him as well. As my free action, I put the key in the lock, turn it, open the door, and take one more step in so my big body is blocking the door from them getting out, although I'm sure Oreo and Pico can kind of squeeze past me if they need.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and put you
And
there then.
the only other thing I can do is yell bloody murder at these motherfuckers and Kylon.
Fair enough. You yell bloody murder all day. All right, so that's the end of your turn. Pico, your spell is gone. You have been cleaned by Ragu, so you're no longer exhausted or vulnerable to fire. So what are you going to do?
Let's see. That Kylon's got to drop fast. How do I want to do this? Shoot. I'm gonna use feline agility. Oh crap! There's two of them in there. Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and use feline agility, and I'm gonna go ahead and basically charge. Guess I'm gonna try and tumble past this guy.
Okay, go ahead and make your tumbling check.
All right.
Let's see, is 13 good enough? Let me check. It is, but just.
All right. Okay. Oh, there's more than one prisoner in here. Okay. Well, I'm gonna step over here to try to entice these guys. Shit, there's two of them.
Well, you can get to here, but if you move further, he still gets his opportunity attack.
I'm gonna take it.
Okay. Since it will just be a claw then, which hits. And you take 10 points of damage. 4 of which is from fire.
Wait, he's on fire?
No, but his the claw attacks cause fire damage and burn things.
Oh, okay. All right, and then I'm going to use my action to cast Moonbeam right here.
Okay, so if they affect the hexes around them, then it'll just affect the one Kylon at the moment. Is that correct?
That's fine. I can't really do anything about that.
Okay, go ahead and roll your damage.
Yeah.
Okay, 11. And that is not enough to kill him because he makes a save, but it does hurt him badly. All right, is that the end of your turn?
Yep, that'll do it.
All right, Oreo, the door is now open. Pico.
Actually, no, I take that back. I'm going to use bonus action turn into a brown bear.
Okay, just go ahead and drag the token over then.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you see Pico's behind the bars, but he has turned into a brown bear. And you can see that there are 2 Kylon in there with him, as well as multiple prisoners. So what are you going to do?
I'm going to go in, I'm just counting cells, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put myself here. I will intentionally scramble whatever eggs are on the floor as I'm doing so, by the way.
Fair enough.
And then I'm going to attack this guy.
Okay. You hit.
Plus Ragu, this is gonna be with the other Drago that had it, so can you go ahead and do your
Coming right up.
yeah, thank you, that.
All right, that's
So 6 total.
okay. So that is enough to kill him. So go ahead and make your dex save, Oreo, which you do make.
And I stay. And no, actually, no. I have my bonus still, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it with the offhand. Um,
You hit.
and give me a sec here while I check something. Just
Sure.
okay. I'm gonna go ahead and do Wells of the Grave so that the one that's in front of Pico over here gets another slap of damage. Um, give me a sec while I roll it.
Sure.
That much more.
He
That's
explodes, and no one's close enough to have to roll anything.
and now I'm done.
Fair enough.
Nice.
All right. Well, the adolescent is obviously going to attack you. So he is going to. He can't do that. So yeah, he's just going to use his claws. And boy, is he going to miss. All right. And then Kylon 3. Kylon 3 is, you can see him move um, toward this prisoner, and you see him clamp down on him. And we're beginning of round 5. Ragu, you can see that Pico, the brown bear, is inside the cage. You can see that there's 2 Kylon left in here. One of the Kylon, however, is currently bitten down on one of the prisoners. What are you going to do?
Okay, I'm gonna actually do it. I really shouldn't. This is stupid, but the hero's the hero, right? Misty step teleport to here with my bonus action. Using my action, I grapple the Kylon to pry his mouth off of the prisoner.
Okay, give me an athletics check versus his strength.
Alright.
Okay, you get your fingers in there, and you can feel the sharpness of his mouth is unbelievable. You can feel your fingers bleeding as you rip him from there, and your fingers take a point of damage as you rip him off, but you are currently holding him away from the prisoner who is slumped on the bed and holding him tight. Is that the end of your turn?
Uh,
There's the moonbeam still here.
yeah, I can move, right? My half movement.
That's
All I
correct.
have to do is spin him clockwise to here and to here to hold him into the moonbeam and just let him burn. And if I wind up taking a little bit damage on my fingers because of it, that's fine. I've got my liquid metal skin to
Okay.
protect me.
Meta Pigeon, brr, can you tell Charter, brr, help Oreo, brr.
Oh, yes. No, I was planning on doing that already. Thank you for reminding me. I forgot. Metagaming Pigeon's wonderful. Yeah, the help action on Kylon 7.
Okay. So, Pico, go ahead and do your moonbeam damage, and we'll see how much damage the Kylon takes.
All right.
He doesn't get a save because, well, he's being held there. All right, so that's 11 damage, right?
Yep.
Okay, so he takes a good chunk of damage. And Ragu, since you're right there holding him, I'm going to say you take up 1 point of that as well.
No problem.
Is that the end of your turn?
98. Yes.
Fair enough.
Yeah, yeah. He did his thing. Good. Yeah. Okay. We're
Yep.
good. Yeah.
All right, Pico, you can see you saw what Ragu did. You can see the adolescent is being burned by your moonbeam. What are you going to do?
Dude, is the guy still alive? Dude.
Actually, how are these prisoners looking?
This guy down here, he's just kind of rocking and ignoring everything around him. This one here is bleeding and is definitely not conscious or unconscious.
Well, I don't want to take any chances with this, so I'm going to go ahead and move next to Ragu, and I'm going to go ahead and swipe at Kylon Adolescent 3. So let's see. The attack is a. Let's see. We'll start with the claw. That's
You'll have
a
advantage on your
26.
attack roll because I'm holding him still.
All right. Well, that's handy.
Grappled.
Let's see. Although I think that's enough to hit. Yeah, the first one's a 13.
Okay, that hits.
All right, and that is going to do 2d6 plus 4. So that is. Did I click that? That is going to. Oh, the first one did roll. Okay, so 8, 12
That's
points.
enough. So because you're close enough to hit, you're also close enough to make a dex save. You as well, Ragu.
Okay.
Both of you make a DC 11 dex save.
All right. Just a straight deck save, or am I at disadvantage?
You are not at disadvantage, just a regular dex save.
Okay.
So Pico, you took 11 points of explosion damage, fire damage. Ragu, you managed to kind of push yourself off of him and away from the damage. All right, Oreo, you have advantage on Adolescent 7. What are you gonna do?
Just to piss it off even more, I'm gonna keep smashing the eggs as I'm swing and attack them.
Fair enough. And you hit.
This plus this.
So 25, which is enough. He explodes. So go ahead and make a DC 11 dex save. Which you make. So you dodge away from the explosion. And the Kylon is dead, so I am going to end combat for now.
All right. Just as combat is ending, I yell, "Galen, get in here! We got a medic!"
Yeah, can he roll
Oreo.
further
He is
for?
outside the door there.
Back up from mentally to Oreo. Back up from the eggs, and I bring the moonbeam and kind of a little swoop around behind her so that she can, you know. And I'm going to park it over the eggs, watch them cook. And as that happens, I'm going to do that again. And then I'm going to try and immediately start moving it up the other way.
Okay, you start breaking the eggs apart, and you hear a crashing noise from the north.
God damn it! Can we just take like a mini break to have Galen come in here and I mean actually if he heals you right now, it's only gonna heal the bear, right? It's not gonna heal you, or is that how does that work?
Yeah, it's only going to go to the bear.
Yeah, okay, then never mind. Let's keep going.
Oh, I thought Galen was still in the hallway.
Yeah, I think you removed them for now.
Yeah, I deleted them.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
as
out of
I'm running
combat, can
out.
he just go in there and help the?
He was the body in the hay.
Oh jeez. As I'm running, I stick out my daggers again. I look at Ragu. Please.
Out of combat, go ahead and charge him up again.
Thank
Okay.
y'all. I'm gonna go on to this side. Oh god damn.
All right. As you run to the north, you can see the door is kind of bent. You can, as you look inside, you can see some of the bars have been bent, and I'll have everybody roll initiative again. All right. Has everybody rolled? Let's see.
So.
Okay, so let me just sort this. And we'll start at round 1. All right. So 1, 2, 3. So we'll stop there. All right, Oreo, you see a stack of Kylon. What are you going to do?
Yeah, they are not surprised clearly. So I'm just gonna use an arrow to shoot. I mean, am I considered in melee with this guy if I step away?
Yeah, basically they would have kind of bent the door over, so they can get out. But you got the wall there, so I don't think you're actually within melee right now. I think you'd have to be within the next hex down to be in melee.
So I'll go here and use an arrow to hit the first one out here.
Okay, you hit. All right, 5 points of damage.
And I'm just gonna scoot over one and stay there.
Fair enough. All right, one, two. A hatchling runs out and attacks Ragu. Just because he's
Um,
closest.
these
Go ahead.
doors are open.
It
These doors
wasn't
are open.
open.
This door was.
No, they've been breaking it through though.
Ah, okay.
So
Yep.
he
Yep.
claws at you, but that just kind of slides over your ridiculously high armor class and does not hurt you. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, Kylon Young, 6 goes to attack you, Ragu.
Yeah, I'm right here. They're big. Wave my arms. Yeah, I'll take the attention.
That should be an 8. Oh, I got it. Yeah, that should just be an 8, which means it misses. So obviously it continues. Hatchling 3. 1, 2, 3 comes out to attack. And
Right
he
here, I'm in front of
misses.
the door.
Go ahead and take an opportunity attack if you want.
Okay. That would be my
That takes your
reaction.
reaction,
But
so you don't have to. It's
yeah,
up to you. Okay, you hit.
I will go ahead and hit him.
All right, that one actually pops, so it's going to pop where you are. So you have to
Mhm.
make a DC 11 dex save.
Just out of curiosity, do they?
They do not. All right, you dodge the attack or the explosion. All right, Pika or Ragu, it's your turn. What are you going to do?
Oh crap! They're already getting out. Char is going to fly over here and give uh, help to this guy, and then fly over here, safe behind Oreo.
Okay.
Um, Rasiri is going to just grit his teeth with a growl and swing hard. First attack with advantage
And that
on
hits.
this guy here. All right.
And is that
With
against the young here?
yeah,
Okay. All right.
14
14
damage.
damage, which does badly hurt it, but is not enough to kill it.
All right, my second attack is without advantage, and I am just doing this broad, long swing with my rapier. So the rest of the arc of the stroke for my second attack is going to this guy.
Okay.
16 to hit,
That hits.
12 piercing.
So does Kylon 6 get any of that, or is it all the hatchling?
It's all the hatchling because my
Okay.
attack one went to Kylon Young, my second attack went to this guy,
Okay, I'm
and I
making
just
sure
did
it's not
color for
like
the swipe.
I think the fighters
Yeah.
have an attack where they can hit multiple enemies. I just making sure it's nothing like that. Anyway, that
Oh
one.
no, that's a battle master thing, but I don't have that.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, you do manage to kill the hatchling, and you have to make a dex save.
No problem. Okay.
Which you fail, but it's only a hatchling, so it's only 1d6. But I rolled well, so you take 5 points of fire damage. You're
I have
resistant to
fire
fire, so
resistance.
you actually only take 2.
Okay, 96.
Oh,
No
I
problem.
should have asked. Is that the end of your turn?
I've got my bonus action attack. My beautiful, pearly, shiny, fancy knuckles in Kylon Young's face.
Fair enough. And you hit. Can you do at least 1 point of damage? You do. So make another dex save.
Okay.
which you fail, and as
I'll
young,
take
so
it.
it's 2d6. So you take another 2 points of damage. All right. And in that case, Kylon Hatchling 5 comes around, and, well, he's going to attack Ragu because he's right there.
I'm right by the door. Everybody, come to me.
And he goes to strike you with his claws and misses horribly. Kylon Young 4, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6. Yep, so he's going to come around and then attack Ragu. With the 17, it scratches his armor. Kylon Young 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Comes around and attacks Ragu.
Come on, all of you.
And he
See
gets
what you got.
a critical hit.
Critical
But with a
hits.
really bad roll, so you take 2, 3, 4 damage.
Um, yeah, I will take that natural 20. I won't burn my reaction on it or nothing.
3, 4, 5, 6. There. Yeah, go there. There. All right, Pico, you can hear the sounds of combat coming from the hallway. What are you going to do?
So I guess the question is, did it take them at least 2 rounds to bust through that door up there?
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, what would have happened in the meantime is, because I'm assuming that the moonbeam would have been enough to cook the eggs in 1 round.
Yes.
So the second round, I would have dumped it here to hit the second stack.
Right.
So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and start moving again. So I'm going to kind of step out in the hallway here.
Okay.
Oh, how's Ragu doing?
Hit me, I can take it.
All right, I am going to see. I'm going to aim it right here. I'm going to move the moonbeam there. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, I've got enough movement on it to do that.
Isn't that going to hurt Ragu?
I
It
said
is.
hit me, I can take it.
Okay. Go ahead and so you're going to move it here so that it'll affect this one, this one, this one.
Ooh, actually, mentally to Oreo, are you ready for blast damage?
You say that and you don't hear a response. I'm sure your thing goes off before I have an answer. So just do it.
All right, go ahead and do your roll. And that's for Ragu as well.
Yeah.
Yep. 16.
Oh,
I made
Well,
it.
you don't have to.
and
No, the moonbeam is. You're not in range of the moon. Oh, yeah, you're not in range of the moonbeam. It's only the explosion effect from the Kylon you have to worry about.
oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
you have
if the Kylon dies.
so Ragu, you have 1 dex save to make. Oreo, you have 2. Okay, so
All right.
Oreo made it.
And
Ragu, go ahead and make
so
your 1.
the 17 was for moonbeam, so I have 1 for explosion damage. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you made it as well. All right, you managed to take out several Kylons in the process and didn't hurt anybody else. So is that the end of your turn, Pico?
Actually, Pico, your moonbeam. Even if I make my DC, don't I take half damage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so 5 points.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying to make sure.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
That's technically on your turn, but
Oh, well, so if I move out of it on my turn.
no, because you'll started your turn there and you'll still take it. It would only
Okay.
matter if we kill these high Kylon off before your turn, then I could cancel it before you take the hit.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll do that. I was confused in the process. Sorry, go.
Anyway, Pico, are you doing anything else?
Yeah, I'll move up to here just to give Ragu a little bit. No, actually, uh, yeah, I don't can't really get to a good spot to do flanking for anybody else.
Okay.
Actually, I take it back. That's a dumb idea. I back. I'll stay where I am.
Okay. Fair enough.
Sorry.
Okay. So hatchling gets there. Doesn't have enough movement left to attack.
Does it get the hurt
But
by
it
the
does take
moonbeam?
damage.
Yeah, because he would have
Yeah,
entered it.
Okay. How much damage was it?
10
10.
points, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So he entered it, and then he immediately exploded. Ragu, make another deck save.
Making a deck save. Deck save. Deck save. Deck
All
save. Check,
right.
check. Deck save. Dex on the saving. Deck
All
save.
right.
Deck save.
So
Another deck
Kylon
save.
5, who isn't the smartest in the world, also takes the 10 points. 10 points, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
But he's still alive, so then he attacks Ragu,
Hit me.
who, he dodges. All right, Kylon 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to wait there. Hatchling, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. Is going to wait there. And now we begin round 2. So Kylon 1 is going to stack up there. All right, Oreo, you can see the Kylon kind of stacking up around the doorway. What are you going to do?
Actually,
So
if he moved to this spot, he should be in range to get hit by that as well.
The
The
moonbeam.
wall's right there. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a wall right there.
Yeah, but it's like a column.
Oh, it's kind of like a fireball. It moves around walls and past corners.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, go ahead and roll. Oh, wait, you
That's
already
still
rolled.
the
Never
same
mind. So I'll
10.
just do the 11. All right. Oreo, what are you going to do?
stand here, I'll get hurt.
Yeah.
I'm asking Pico.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
move into that spot, you'll get hit.
Then I would just shoot an arrow at this guy.
Okay. And you hit.
I'm
And he
gonna go.
explodes, and Ragu has to make another deck save.
Sorry.
Woohoo! No, no sorries. I'm a tough warrior now. I can do this.
And he does it.
This is my job.
All right, Ragu, you
And
doing
that's
anything?
it.
Or Oreo, yeah. All right, Ragu. You've been making your deck saves all night, so what are you going to do?
Yeah, this is where you would take the 5 points now.
Okay.
Okay, it is up. I am taking 5 points. 1 second. Okay, no, we're still good.
So now
Can I bonus
Kylon
action
1,
something if?
or just to
Good.
clarify, Kylon 1's on the other side of a wall, so you can't hit him unless you move forward a hex. Otherwise, you can hit the other ones near you.
All right, here's a dumb question. If I take the disengage action, can I bonus action something else?
Can you take the disengage? Yeah. If you take the disengage action, then you still get your bonus action unless your bonus action requires an attack first. Because normally your bonus action attack requires you to spend your action attacking.
All right. I was going to pull the pin on a lightning cylinder and drop it right here, and then use my disengage to just get out of the way. Or can I not do that?
I think that counts as an attack.
Okay. All right. In that case, I will. In that case, I'll do something completely different. Let's see here. Nope. We're just gonna go ahead and go for an attack. Okay. Sorry. Char's gonna fly in, and go ahead and give me assistance on Kylon Young 3
Okay.
as he flies down here out of the way. And then I'm going to take one swipe at Kylon.
All right, I guess we'll be in suspense about his attack.
Hello?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, I dropped call for some reason. I apologize.
Oh, no problem.
All right, so advantage, one rapier strike on Kylon 3
Yep.
as
Crit.
critical hit. So a
Use.
full 16 points.
Yeah, and he explodes. You know what to do.
All right. Whammo.
You
That's a
did not
5.
have advantage, so that means you
Yeah, that's
take
a 5.
4 points of fire damage.
Alrighty.
But you did manage to destroy the Kylon.
All right. My next rapier swing will be standard at this guy here.
Which guy? Okay.
Yeah.
You hit,
Number 14.
and he explodes. Make your dex save.
Making it.
All right.
Yeah, my decks got tired of me. They're like, it's like, yeah, I'm not moving no more.
All right. Another 2 points of fire damage.
2 points. Okay. And then my pearly knuckles against this last guy here.
All right. Go for it. And you hit him. It is a hatchling after all. However, you do not quite hit him hard enough to kill him.
Okay. That is literally all I got.
Fair enough. All right. The hatchling then moves slightly and then returns the favor. Or tries to. But with that kind of roll, he fails miserably. All right, Pico, you laugh as you see the hatchling stumble as he tries to attack. So what do you do?
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna move the moonbeam off. Let's see. I guess probably here. Basically, the hex where it is, I want to move it 2 hexes, so it's just horizontal. I think right here is what I want.
Okay, that just okay, but yeah, moving it doesn't count as leaving it. So okay, that makes sense. Go ahead
Yeah.
and roll.
All right. Moonbeam. 13. Okay, even better.
Okay, it looks like 2 of them made it. But that is enough to destroy.
No, only 1. The DC is 16.
Oh, sorry, 1 of them made it then. But that is enough to destroy 2 of them. You see here 2 explosions. Fortunately for Ragu, the wall's in the way, so he doesn't have to worry about another deck save. And Young 2 is badly hurt. Is that the end of your turn?
I'm actually going to. No, that's the end of my turn, but I'm going to go ahead and have Fire Lily help Ragu out a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and have Fire Lily perform the help action and basically just invisibly as a spider just start scrambling all over Kylon Hatchling number 8.
All right. So you see the Kylon kind of spinning in circles, trying to scratch whatever it is, biting it off like a dog. All right. Kylon Young 2 is going to come around and attack Ragu.
And now that he has entered right next to me, he's hit with the moonbeam.
No, he stepped out of it because of where I put it.
Oh.
So that should have been a 13, which is not good enough. And we enter round 3. Oreo, this Kylon came out and completely ignored you. What are you going to do about that?
Arrow to the face.
Yeah. and it explodes. And Ragu, you have to make another deck save. Um, what kind of was it again? Okay, so it's a 2d6. All right. So you take 3 more points of fire damage.
And I stay put.
All right. Okay, 3 more points of fire damage, and Ragu, it's your turn.
Okay. Oh wait,
Oh
three.
yeah,
Sorry,
did you already take it?
I do my
Anyway,
math
it's your
wrong.
turn.
Yeah, I was at 79 and I went down to 77, but that should have been 76, so I just fixed
Okay,
it.
fair enough.
All right. Um, I'm gonna use my bonus action just with my pearlescent knuckles because I already punched him once. Just kind of look at this guy funny for stumbling, and then wham! One good solid right to the face.
Let's
You
see if
got
it
an
works.
advantage on that.
It definitely does work. Can you do it? At least 2 points of damage. You can. It explodes, and you have one more deck
Woohoo!
save.
That would
Which
be
you
an
make.
11, and yeah.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take you out of combat.
I was gonna say, oh, I thought there was some more around the corner. I was expecting more fights.
Teamwork!
Ah!
Actually, can I look at Pico's like, can you do your sweeping thing again over here?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm gonna go ahead and pass the moonbeam in and start running it into the cages. I'll start here and just slow cook my way to the left.
Okay, you do so. And yeah, you're starting to sweep it across. What are the rest of you doing?
I just want to
Gonna
investigate the other spots. I'll help Ragu. So
yeah.
Ragu, you make your roll with my help.
Okay. All right, we are going through investigation.
Okay,
23.
you're searching around. You see a couple of obvious stone corpses, but then you see bits of stone bodies buried within the hay all over the place. Um, one of the things you notice, though, is at least one of the bodies you swear you see bits of the same kind of robe that you saw in that first pile.
Hmm. Are you thinking that the Sword of Justice and the Grey Cultists are at each other's throats, maybe? Like they are not so good friends?
But the Sword of Justice were the ones who said that the hatchery was fine. So how did these are sort of justice
Oh,
folks? How they're not the cultists?
oh. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, my confusion here. It's like, it's the maybe they're sacrificing their own or recruiting for such.
Why they would sacrifice their own, I have no idea. But I never understand cults. So don't ask me
Okay.
about that.
All right. If that is all the details in this room, then we can go ahead and move over and
Yep,
keep
I'll
Uh,
keep
is
on
this
helping you.
investigating. Okay.
Okay,
is this door
Yeah,
unlocked?
there's a
it is
yeah.
not. They busted through the bars.
Okay.
So you see several sets of bars have been bent inward, but the doors themselves are still locked.
Well, in that case, if there's an area where the bars are busted through, I'll end up going. Okay, that's fine. Just making sure I don't miss any eggs. Meanwhile, Fire Lily's gonna go ahead and take the form of a rat and check on the prisoners.
Okay, so the prisoner over here is
If Galen was still with us out of game, he could have just showed up, gave medical attention to that one hurt prisoner, and went back to the door.
fair enough. Once you guys wrapped up the combat in that area, he could have gone in there. So that's fair. So that's probably what you would see. You see one of the prisoners down here is unconscious. The other prisoner, Galen, is standing over him, and when, but I guess it's just a rat. So yeah, that's all you see.
Hello. I'm sure you think you're delirious, and you'd be right. But are you okay? What happened to you?
Are you speaking to the prisoner down here?
I'm talking to the
The rat is
conscious
talking
one.
to him.
Okay. So he just kind of looks at you dully and seems to be in shock.
Oh, come on. This can't be the first time you've seen a familiar, is it?
He just stares at you.
How were you captured?
He just continues to stare.
Oh,
Apparently,
catatonic
that's how he was
prisoners are
captured.
always the worst. Well, he didn't move when you were trying to save his life, so. All right. I'll just have Fire Lily keep watch, and I think at this point I am going to change out of wild shape and go back and check on everybody else here.
All right.
Okay.
Oreo and I'll finish our investigation of this room. Or
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty much more of the same. It's mostly bits of stone bodies. You can you'd guess that there's probably maybe a dozen bodies worth of stone bits.
okay.
Can I double check if there's any secret areas or like or doorways where potentially there could be other escape routes? Using Dodge and Delver to do that.
Okay, you're doing it in this room at the moment, so yeah, go ahead and make your
Mm-hmm.
roll.
It's with advantage because that's what the feat does.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you're doing a search. You don't identify any escape routes in this room. However, you do identify that in underneath the hay in here, it looked like at one point in time somebody was trying to create an escape route, but it was never finished.
There's a like there's an actual hole in there though.
It's not really a hole. It's more like they removed pieces of of the tiling, and then you can see some evidence that digging started. Then the tiling was put back, but never caulked or anything, so it's loose. So it was started and then abandoned.
Mm, maybe you guys want to check that out just to see if there's any reinforcement we can do to that. But I'll go ahead and do another search in the other rooms.
Okay,
I'm gonna go in here and try and also to see if I can find any secret openings.
sure. Go ahead and make another roll. All right, so you do. And what you find in here, you see this hay. You can see underneath there are some of the stone tiles, and it looks like they were placed to cover the some sort of opening, but something had broken through the tiles, and you see some tunnel going straight down.
Ah, crap. Can I mean, I mean, with dark vision on, like, how far can I see? Is it like beyond the 60 feet, or do I see it curved some
Yeah,
way or
you
anything?
basically it goes down for about 6 feet or so, and then it kind of bends like an L shape and goes horizontal again, and then goes out of view. But what's interesting though is as you're looking, you can see claw marks, and it looks like the thing that broke through had had vicious round claws.
They're gonna hate me for this, but oh well. She's gonna go ahead and take out her hooded lantern, which
Wait,
has light on it. Too late. I'm saying this, so
but are
I'm
you in the
gonna.
room with the familiar?
If this is where the familiar was, then sure. I don't know if
Yeah,
this is the word.
you see a rat looking at you curiously.
Yeah, so the rack. If you're seeing through the rat, then you're seeing that it happened. But I'm
Would
actively
you
jumping
like me
in.
to check in the hole for you?
Fine, go ahead. No, I really wanted to do it, guys. Like but go for it. Just do it.
No, if you want to, by all means.
Yeah, she's gonna jump in. Lantern on.
Okay, you jump in, lantern on, and you see this clumsily dug tunnel. You kind of have to crawl through it, and you can see claw marks all down the tunnel, and it seems to go in a sort of a straightish line, but it's kind of a curve, and it seems to go for a while. Are you are you planning on going for a couple of minutes worth of travel, or are you going to turn back?
Yeah. No, a couple minutes worth of travel. I would definitely stealth throughout it all, trying to be alert as to if they hear anything either too. So let me go ahead and roll for that.
Okay. So yeah, you climb through this tunnel, and you wind up coming out into a back alley somewhere. It looks like in a poor section of the city. And as you come
Far
out,
from the actual building that we were and we entered
not
from.
too far. It's just more like you had this kind of nice area where there was the shops, and then a few blocks away, or maybe 2 blocks away, you might have
Oh,
a bad area. So something like that. So it's still relatively close.
so
Um,
it's at least recognizable as I peek out that it's still in the neighborhood.
yeah. And as you come out, you can see more claw marks, and you see a stone body.
Shit. Um, can I don't want to step out too far from the actual tunnel area. Can I just see uh the actual tracks of this thing that were in the area where the stone thing is at? Like, can I at least detect that much?
You look around and you look for tracks, and there are some. You can definitely see where the cobblestones have been scratched, and then you see some evidence that something climbed up a building, and then that's where you lose sight.
Oh crap. Okay, now I go back.
Okay. All
Um,
right. In the meantime, because I mean
yep, yep.
that's going to be probably a good 10 minutes. So Pico and Ragu, what do you do two doing during those 10 minutes?
Okay, as we're looking around here, I'm gonna say that Pico. You know how the adolescent Kylon they were poking through the other room, but they were smart enough to shut the doors behind them to make it look like they were not open. Do you think that the Kylon in here have been slowly, one at a time, picking off their jailers, and that is why there are the black robe ones in amongst the dead?
I
They're actually
doubt,
that smart.
I doubt it because that would have required. I mean, how would they have locked the door with the keys inside? They're clearly still using brute force tactics. And
But
if they
how
were
else
picking
would you
off their
really?
jailers, we they feed and they make stone bodies.
Yes, but there are these stone bodies with the jailers, with the sword of justice's robes on them.
Well, I guess in here, but the one you found in the hay, you poked it. That was still a fleshy body.
Well, that one was yes, but we found some in here like that. But either way, I'm
I,
just trying to
I'm
figure
think
out these things.
I'm thinking more likely somebody would have dumped them in here for that, uh, because I mean, especially since looking at this door here, you said that these doors are still intact, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, looking at these doors, I mean, they're still properly locked, and from the outside, yeah, you just the Kylon may be smart, but they seem to be lacking finesse. I mean, we saw how they got out through these bars and everything, so I feel like something was deliberate there. Of course, if they think they've got traitors amongst their midst, they might have been paranoid about it. Um, and thinking about it, it's interesting that in the Kylon adolescent pen, the human prisoners are at the far end. You actually have to go through the Kylon pen in order to get to them, which suggests that somebody has the ability to deal with these things while they're conscious. I mean, unless they stocked those cells early, but then there's no easy way to get them out unless you open it up and release the bodies. So somebody
I
seems.
have another theory there. Is if the jailers were magically inclined, they can stand over here on this side of the door, and they can take the person that they want to have put into cages, and they teleport both of them back here, and then they were in the cage, and then the jailer can teleport it back out, leaving the food over here where the Kylon will run this way to get it, which might be a way they're keeping them under control and away from the door, perhaps.
Of course, you'd think they wouldn't even need to have a door on the cell if they were doing that.
Well, they'd originally have to have had a door on the cell to build the room and to put the Kylon eggs in it, and
Not really. They
once in
just
a while.
build out the room and then put the bars in from the outside.
Mm.
Although, one other possibility is that, assuming they were doing the teleport thing like you're talking about, maybe that failed some of them. I mean, one tricky thing is that, keep in mind the way they've got this set up. Like, yeah, they could get in and out, but if the Kylon don't, you think they don't want to destroy their cells for this. So, but what if they were teleporting somebody in with the Kylon, and the Kylon got the drop on them? Like they
That
thought
is
that they
true.
were more pacified than they really were.
Yeah, because looking at the cage from the inside, this is probably where the Kylon were originally kept.
Yeah.
The ones that were out here in this chamber was because they got through the bars.
Mhm. Oh.
But
And probably about this time in my head, Fire Lily's going to be, your resident rogue really likes to explore. She just jumped into a tunnel. Alrighty.
I don't know. Am I
Uh,
back, Jeremy? Because like that's just finally telling them that I'm gone, but I don't know if I'm back.
Um,
well, you said 10 minutes, so
yeah.
I was figuring a little bit of conversation. Then that happened, and Fire Lily decided not to follow, but then let me know what was
Yeah, that's
going on.
fair. I mean, Fire Lily would have let them know, so you would still be in the tunnel when they did that.
Okay.
you got
Um,
squealed on, sorry.
Sorry, not
uh,
sorry.
yeah. Yeah, looking at this room with the prisoners, the yeah, these rooms just really don't seem to be well set up for dealing with the Kylon without having to get in the rooms themselves.
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah,
hear a bunch of scruffles as boop, out comes Oreo. Oh, shit, you guys. Sorry. Um, not good news. Uh, it looks like we've got an egg that escaped this place. Because not an egg though, probably an adolescent.
so,
Uh,
oh, yeah.
it definitely made it all the way out, and in fact, there's a body right outside where the thing exits. So, we've got stuff to tell
Oh,
Carl.
I have a bad feeling about this. Remember when they were talking about how one of them is almost an adult? I didn't see an adult anywhere in this fighting.
Yep, and last I could really tell without really getting too far is that it went up into the roof of something, probably. So I have no idea at this point how far along it could have gone, but it definitely made its escape route through here. I'm actually wondering if maybe Pico, you have any way of filling this hole out at least for now until because we have no idea how else they're gonna. I don't know. It's just an exit route that I don't think is worthwhile having open like this.
Yeah, that's easy enough to sort of call. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and send Fire Lily in and get just a quick look at. So the tunnel goes down and then what, turns or something?
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
it's like an L shape, so it goes down 6 feet, and then it turns, and then it kind of more or less goes straight, but there's a slight curve to it.
Hmm. Okay, so what I'm gonna do then is, and is it go straight down?
Yeah,
How far down again?
And it leads to
six
the
feet.
outside.
Yeah,
Oh,
it leads to
six
the
feet. That's
outside.
not bad. Okay, so what I'm gonna do then is,
Char's going down through the tunnel with you. Have secondary
uh,
idea.
no, if it's only 6 feet, that's not that much. But basically, what I'm gonna do is, yeah, I don't even necessarily have to get in the hole. Basically, what I'm gonna do is, down in there, I'm gonna excavate about, I don't know, 30. Does it even need to be 30 feet? I'm gonna dig a side tunnel and then basically bring that earth up on top. And then I'm going to go ahead and then just dump it down in there so that it basically fills the little vertical shaft. So there's essentially some little now isolated side pocket where the earth was gotten from. And then with that plug, that blocks that end of the tunnel where it's going. And I could dig far enough, I'll plug the hole for, I don't know, 60 feet. And then do we think we're going to come back through this?
I
Well,
don't
since you were
think
doing
so.
all that, I'd sent Char down with you for a secondary idea, and that secondary idea was Char was going to go all the way to the end. Now, Oreo, you said that the other end of this tunnel goes out to the street.
It does. It stays into the neighborhood, but just a little far, like a block or two away from where we started.
Okay, well, it's lucky that Char is my loyal companion and hunting owl, because once he gets out to the street, he can start making small concentric circles and widening them out, hunting to see if he can see anything about the Kylon.
Okay.
He can
So
ping me if he
he does that. So
sees
he's
it.
currently circling and looking.
Yeah, but he, being a hunting owl, he has +3 to perception for sight and hearing, and since he's an owl, he has dark vision or night vision.
Okay. All right. So the owl is currently searching. Pico, you blocked essentially blocked off the passage behind Char. Is that correct?
Yeah, that'll only take a few minutes to do.
Okay. So the passage is blocked off. Char's currently doing a circle searching. So what are you guys going to do next?
Do we
I
want to put the
mean,
floor together or height cover it up just so it wasn't obvious there was anything there in the first place?
the thing was covered
Well,
up
if
by
it,
this hay stuff, so I mean, if you just want to go
Oh,
ahead and use that, then that's fine. It's just I didn't want the rest of the hole to be super obvious.
that works.
But uh, at this point, though, I mean, we dealt with the hatchery to some degree. I mean, obviously, there's still one left to do, but I don't know if we're gonna be able to find it. I mean, especially if it's already taken its left. Like, can I tell actually by the tracks how recent it could have been? Like, is there any way that we could tell based off? I don't know, like kind of when you see like when
No, I
people at the
get it.
morgue can kind of see how long a body's been dead or something like that. Can is there a way of deciphering all that?
You go ahead and
how
give me
long the
a
tracks have
survival
been,
check.
how fresh are the tracks?
Okay.
Okay. So it looks like the tracks are probably 4 to 5 days old.
Eee.
So
I
they lost their Kylon adult 4 to 5 days ago and noticed nothing, even as soon as the Hoffenfloffen thing that just happened yesterday. They
well, I
really
mean,
did not notice.
yeah,
Oh,
I
these
mean,
guys are
well,
idiots.
either that or or I mean, remember these guys that we saw at the Whopper again were probably higher ups. The guys that seem to be dead in here might have been the people that they hired to get this done. But if they never heard back from them, then of course they wouldn't know what the condition of this thing was. All they heard is that it was fine.
Yes, okay. But yeah, you'd think 5 days someone would leak through the grapevine that,
Well, what
oh
if
hey, we lost our
everybody?
adult.
Well, but I mean, what if everybody that's supposed to be reporting back are the people that we just found dead in the hay?
That
So,
is true.
yeah,
You
I
do have a
think
point. Okay.
I don't even think they even know that they've got their secret weapon out in the loose right now.
Well, we need to make absolutely sure that all the adolescents are or no, not the adolescents, all the eggs are destroyed, and
But a four to
we
five
now have to go
day,
hunting.
yeah, that I mean, again, we're the day before we were supposed to leave. I don't know how far of a trek we can really make to try and hunt this thing down with a 5 day like head start.
Well,
For what
remember these
it's
things have to hide.
worth, we could do a little bit of a search just to see if yeah if one set up some hideout nearby. But yeah, we can't waste a whole bunch of time doing that. If we don't have any clear obvious leads, then our best bet's just simply to tell Carl um, that one got out. We have reason to believe that it's an adult, at the very least an adolescent. Um, just so he knows. But I mean, the fact that we've cleared out this much and even rescue well, actually we haven't rescued them yet, but potentially have rescued a couple of prisoners that might eventually provide information could be helpful.
And as you guys are having this discussion, Galen, you notice Galen's trying to get somebody's attention.
All right.
Uh, what happened?
So Galen points to this guy and says that he's fine. He's shaken up, but he's fine. He says that the this guy that got bit, unfortunately, is dead.
Shit. One bite did it? Damn.
Well, Galen tells you that they were already in severely weakened condition, and that's why.
Do we know this thing isn't like an infection that if they get bitten they eventually turn or anything, right? They just turn into stone eventually or something?
No, it's the Kylons sucking out their life force, and that turns them into stone. And so the Kylon only got a little bit of life force, not enough that he turned into stone, but it still was enough in his weakened condition.
So they could have been using, okay, so just as a point of reference, then the one that escaped could have been slowly draining these, like consciously to the point that they've been before it left.
It could have drained him a little bit at a time if it wanted.
I mean, based off of the way they made the tunnel and everything, this seems to be an intelligent creature, so I'm figuring that they might have kind of planned it pretty precisely so they can have enough energy to get out.
It's
Yeah.
possible.
God damn it.
Well, if this guy's conscious, I'm gonna ask. I know this is a difficult subject, but how did the Kylon go about feeding? Do they act quickly or drain people over time?
He looks at you for a while, just kind of dumbfounded, and then finally he says, the little ones, they eat quickly. They bite and they drain, and you just see someone wither away and turn to stone. The big ones, sometimes they'll play with their food, or just take a little bit at a time until eventually they die.
Mm. That happened to you?
And then he kind of uncovers himself because they got little blankets, and then you can see marks all over his arms.
Just to be sure, because I don't step too close by, but I just from afar I kind of say, did the really big one leave a couple days ago?
It's mashed through the floor.
Okay, yeah. So, yep. Cool.
um, you know for sure if it was an adult? Was it bigger than the other ones that we just fought?
It was the biggest one.
That sounds like our quarry.
Yeah.
Well, we
Have
might
we
get lucky and come up with a lead. It's
have
got to hide somewhere.
true, but a question. We've hunted these things before. Well, not hunted so much as like we fought these things before. Do we know of anything that lures them necessarily?
I don't think so.
We haven't. Okay. Jeez. All right.
Yeah, typically when you guys have come across them, they've already been holed up somewhere or already done damage or something. But yeah, you haven't seen anything like like a piper, like a pipe, luring rats or anything like
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Well, they do seem to like ambushing, at least the smaller ones do.
Yeah, but this guy's an adult. I feel like it's
Yeah,
past that first level. I think it might just be best to go back to Crawl at this point because, I mean, don't get me wrong, Regu. Go ahead and keep Char on the lookout. Anything, I mean, Char's probably gonna be our best bet if it spots anything, but I don't know if necessarily spending the rest of the night trying to find any kind of clues is gonna necessarily help, not without actually grabbing it.
right. So I got a question. As far as getting getting our friend here out, do you think we'd be better off taking him through the tunnels or just back up the ladder?
Didn't we take care of everything upstairs or no? We just sneaked, right?
Yeah, those people may not have any idea what's going on down here.
Shit, and we already closed off the tunnel. All
Oh,
right.
I can clear that pretty quickly.
I mean, it takes us a good block or two away from the building, so we don't even have to so much as sneak so all that well. We can easily get him out of through there, and then if you want to close it up after, then go for it.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a plan then. So then, one other thing then is we might want to do one more search of the storage rooms. I think we should take the cloaks and stuff from anything that's left from the sort of justice people, or people that we don't have reason to believe we're uh, mentally, so that the guy there doesn't hear it, but people who weren't meant to be food.
Yeah, okay. Ragu, I can help you with any other further checks that need to be made if you want to go ahead and check the other rooms. The only thing I want to check or like deliberately try and find is if there's anything related to Swords of Justice from, I think this room down here or something that we were at, the one that we fought the first guys in. Just want to see if there's anything related to that group, because what I'm trying to decipher, and I'll say this to you guys while I'm still in the room with you, but I mean, if the adult is like that smart, do you think it was capable of snagging stuff from these things before leaving? Like it actually used maybe like a cloak on itself to try and not like make himself more blendable?
Possibly. The only thing though is that given the state of the doors, like the one where we found it was locked and you found keys inside. I mean, unless it's got a set of keys with it still, or that it ditched somewhere. I mean, that would be some impressive intelligence to not kill one and then to actually lock it away like that. I'm gonna go check that body and see if there's any indication of a cause of death.
Okay, so you can go do that. That'll be a medicine check. Oreo, you can go ahead and do a perception check if you're looking for anything related to the Sword of Justice.
Okay.
Okay, I'll investigate.
All right, I'm gonna roll my d4 because I'm gonna give myself some expert guidance and roll my medicine. Okay, 16.
Okay, so as far as the medicine check goes, it looks like one of them, the one where the arm is partially stoned, looks like bites from a Kylon. However, your the other bodies though they look like they were stabbed, like from swords or daggers. And Oreo, as you're searching around, you do see some you see tools. You see some water, some hay. You do see some kind of cloaks kind of packed away, and you can see that the Kylon adolescent that were in here actually broke open some of the crates that had the cloaks and were shredding the cloaks.
Um,
And
Do I get the picture that they consciously were going after that?
you get the impression that they were attacking the black cloaks.
What the F? Have we seen these things be that smart before?
I don't think so.
All right.
We
Um,
have seen the younger ones display some intelligence, but that means that the adults would be far, far more intelligent. I don't know.
is there any code that looks intact at this point, or is everything shredded?
It looks like everything's probably shredded because they had a while at it before you guys finally busted in.
Okay.
Um, but you can tell some of the cloaks were probably previously used because a lot of them look like they're dirty. Um, so perhaps they might have had some smell to them or something like that. But yeah, they were definitely shredding the cloaks.
A smell to them. Holy crap. So now they're hunters too? Jeez, what the hell? Who the hell's feeding these things? All right. I share that with the other two. Uh, well, that's great news, right? As we're supposed to leave too. Cool. Cool, 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 cool.
Well, looking at the bodies in the other room, um, one of them looks like it was attacked by Kylon. The other ones were stabbed. So I'm wondering if one person might have been a traitor and attacked some of the other people, but then the Kylon were used to kill the traitor. Not sure of that, but it is interesting that there's two forms of damage. One other thing, I'm thinking back to the the bites and stuff. Does it look like it would have been small Kylon that did that, or larger ones?
Probably small ones.
Hmm.
I'm getting the suspicion that maybe the adult had a lot more to do with what happened here before it left. Because how old are the deaths of the ones that you investigated, Pico? I'm assuming 4 to 5 days old too, or longer.
What
How
was your
fresh?
medicine check? Yeah, you.
16.
Um, it was. You can't tell precisely, but it was definitely days.
I have a feeling that before I left, it decided that it needed to do some sort of coup in here, and it went after anything that might have been related to the sort of Justice folks. So everything that's in that other room, and I point to the room I was just in, got shredded apart. It almost seems intentional, so it's like they are really going after anything that might have been trying to help it.
Well, I could see them not liking being controlled, given how thorough the Kylon devastation is elsewhere. Uh, I don't think they like being forced to be selective.
Yeah, why it decided to leave, that's probably the curious question. Maybe it thinks it's got a way to multiply or something outside. What we did know that piece of information. How is it that they multiply? Oh,
Basically, once they get old enough and they've drained enough bodies, then they can lay eggs. It's
okay.
asexual.
But it
So
has to be an
it's an
adult, right?
adult. Yeah,
Yeah.
once the adult gets enough food.
So we have to contemplate that it might just been a rogue adult that somehow got bred to be super intelligent for some reason or another, just did not want to be controlled by these things or these people. This and the organization and the heads probably don't even know that this has happened yet.
Okay.
Well,
Just
at
an
this
idea.
point, I think we're probably going to want to bring this guy to Carl. Excuse me, what is your name?
Talking to the guy down here,
Yeah,
he looks up and he says, "Sam."
Sam. Okay. Um, all right. We're gonna get you out of here. Hope you don't mind the dark a bit. We're gonna have to be crawling through a tunnel for a little while, but we're gonna take you somewhere safe and find out more about what's going on because we want to make sure this doesn't happen to anybody else.
For a second, he just stares at you, and then he says, um, "You're actually taking me out of here?"
Yep.
Well, yeah.
Uh,
Will you explode if you leave the doors or something? Do you want to stay here? It's not a
No.
very good vacation
I
home.
first I want to go, but I thought it couldn't possibly be real. I mean, I thought it was. Um, okay, let's go.
all right. And actually, do you know the other person that one that unfortunately didn't make it?
I saw him. I've seen him on the street, but I don't know his name.
Okay. Well, we'll pick him up and take him along too. But I'll go ahead and start re-excavating the passage. I'm going to put this dirt back into the little pocket I had under there because if we're leaving through the tunnel, I'm going to seal it up differently. So we got like the cloaks and everything.
I mean, they're
Did we
shredded up.
make
I don't even
absolutely sure?
know. I don't know
No,
if
I
we
mean
really want.
from the ones the dead pile.
Did we make absolutely sure that we got every egg? if they have just one stray egg in a corner, they can start this all over again.
I'm pretty sure that we made we yeah with the moon bean. I'm pretty sure they're fried.
All right, just
But
making sure.
as far as the cloaks go, I'm gonna defer to Ragu on that one because I don't know if you want to if you got any of the ones from the dead bodies, but I know that there was just a bunch of shredded ones that I don't think it matters to pick up.
Yeah, I was planning on taking the ones from the bodies in the first room.
Okay. While you guys are helping to undo the tunnel thing, Jeremy, I do want to take some time in the back with the survivor to try and just more calmly learn more of like if they're from the area, if they have family, if they know of anybody, because her intention is to try and see if he essentially needs help or if there's any or is there, if there's anyone that she can take him to you know get them back home essentially.
Oh, fair enough. He seems to be partially unresponsive. He seems to be in shock. But you might be able to get some information out of him. So go and give me a persuasion check.
Mm, okay. Well, if she's trying to be nice about it, can she try? Well, it's not that bad, but still.
Oh yeah. So you're able to get some information out of him. He is basically apparently he's a beggar, or was a beggar, and so he would be on one of the nearby alleys. He would hang out and go through his craft, and he got by if just barely. Um, and yeah, he tells you that yeah, he doesn't really have any surviving family in the city. So he's just he came to the city to get away from the Sudaga War, and unfortunately he was in the craft that he was involved in, which involved mining and ore processing. Um, became harder and harder to get work, and then eventually he was stuck on the street.
She's not gonna make any promises yet, but she does want to tell her that maybe if if he doesn't mind, then especially if he has no real place to stay, uh she can try and help him out with it. And again, we're doing this in the time that they're working on the tunnel, right? So as soon as that's done, then she's gonna bring it up to the other two that if it's okay to have him at the apothecary for the night, I'll take care of getting him settled in a spot that I know of.
So
Are you guys cool with that?
you guys can respond.
That sounds like an adequate plan.
I oh
Okay.
I, okay,
Uh,
Fire Lily. She's a little confused because she thought she was talking to Pico, but all right, cool. All right.
Well, technically you were.
Oh, geez, we're gonna go at this again. All right, cool. Thanks, guys. You guys are awesome. All right.
yeah, I've got no problems
Um,
with that.
Okay.
Looking at the room here, as I'm getting the cloaks, there are two things I'm wondering. A, for the ones that are dead, are they still visually recognizable? I mean, like if you had to show them to somebody, you could be like, oh yeah, that was such and such if they knew them, or are the bodies too decayed or whatever.
Um, Probably two of them are recognizable.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and commit those faces to memory. Were those stab wounds only, or the ones
Yeah.
that were stabbed? Okay. Other than that, looking around, does it look like this room's been searched by us?
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
Okay. I'll go ahead and rejoin everybody. And okay, so I got the cloaks, and do we know what? Or so we've searched all the other rooms and everything.
Yeah.
I did the best I could to search, yeah.
Yeah, we
All right.
investigated. Um,
In that case, I think this is time we should make our escape.
All right. I'll take you to the other map then. Okay. So you have exited from Sorry, you're still actually. I guess you're still in the Blackstone Blade. So, um,
No, we went through the tunnel,
okay,
so
We were like a block away or something like
okay, fair
that.
enough. So yeah, you come out of the tunnel and you can see the claw marks and scratches from the Kylon. You can see where it kind of went up a wall on a building. But at that point in time, you lose sight of the tracks. You can see if you were to climb up, you'd be able to see some tiles missing from one of the roofs. But after that, it seems to get its footing, and you lose track of where it went.
all right. We'll probably want to.
Char was up circling too, trying to find it, and if if it went through a window, Char will land on the window and keep trying to
Yeah,
follow
I
it,
mean
but
he's
not get very
circling.
far.
He hasn't found anything. Um, and when I say you lose track of it, I meant you lose track of where it went 4 or 5 days ago.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, I mean, if Char was able to get a hint from that, that'd be an awesome bird. But I'm not saying that it's not an awesome bird, but it would be one hell of a feat.
Yeah, we'll probably want the guards in this area to be on alert for any sightings and
Tell him to
maybe be.
check the alleys and trash piles for stone bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was going to tell them to be very cautious about doing that so that they don't want to be feeding the thing while they're looking for it. But yeah, so but
So
first
this.
let's go talk.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Continue.
I was thinking we should. Actually, no. If there are guards nearby, maybe we should talk to them first.
All right, so if you're gonna look for guards, let's see what time is this? Probably later in the day, so they're probably on patrol. So you do find a patrol of guards on a.
Just a point of reference, you guys go talk to him. I'm gonna stay with the survivor back. So we're not gonna be with you guys as you guys talk to the guards. We're gonna try and stay a little farther apart. I don't want them to be asking questions for the guy that looks super weak.
Fair enough.
Okay, so anyway, Pico and
Perhaps we could
Ragu.
take him to the church. They are good at shell shock and healing.
Well,
You guys take care of
yeah,
that first. We'll deal with that later.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, you see a patrol of guards going down a nearby street. So what do you do?
gonna go ahead and flag them down.
Okay, one of the guards walks up and looks at you. He looks at Rangu, is probably a little bit bloodied up. Some bits of his clothing are charred from all the explosions. Uh, and he says, what happened to you, man?"
Well, you know how the Kylon attacks have been increasing.
Shh, quiet. Yes, we are informed about that, but we are to keep the general populace from annoying for the time being.
That's
We're not the general
understandable.
populace. We're special agents.
We're investigating the Kylon, and unfortunately, and gesturing to the body we brought out, we found this individual being attacked by Kylon. We tried to save him, but weren't quite in time. Uh, anyway, we have reason to believe that in this area there is an adult Kylon somewhere. So you're probably going to be more careful about patrols, checking alleys. Make sure to work in groups if you're doing that. But there's a very
Cautiously
real
check the
chance.
sewers, maybe.
Yeah, if you do hear anything about disappearances in this area, it'd probably be wise to tell the Nexus Guild.
And where do you believe this Kylon is?
Unfortunately, we don't know. I mean, we tracked it to where did Char find the tracks going? We can take them to where the last spot was that we saw
Okay,
in
so
the
yeah, you take
tracks.
them back there. There's still a stone body there, kind of, off in the alley that
Mhm,
Oreo saw. So as you take him over there, he would obviously notice that as well. And I was like,
mhm.
not again. All right. Well, this isn't the only um, report of this we've had. In fact, we've been informed to report garrison at if we find any more sightings like this. And he gestures at the body.
Yeah.
So thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Yeah, and be warned, this one is almost certainly an adult, at the very least in older adolescence. This is going to be one of the more dangerous ones.
Of course it is. And do you have any idea where it came from?
Uh, Actually, we do. We've sealed that up. Apparently, it had a nest that it had dug a tunnel for. We cleared it out and sealed the nest because there were eggs in there. Um, we're going to report that to our superiors for investigation. But yeah, that's sealed off, and you shouldn't have any danger from
And
there.
who are you again?
We're the cavalry, and we're from the Nexus Guild.
I see. Well, I will report this as well. And for now, you can go about your business. But I will definitely be looking into you as well. No offense, but we cannot just have groups going around acting on their own. So, but I'm sure if everything is as you say, that'll be cleared up soon enough.
Yes. If you go to the Nexus
Is
Guild,
there anything else you needed today, good sir?
yes, if you go to the Nexus Guild, just ask for Elru. She will give you all the information you're requiring about us.
Well, I will report to my superiors, and I'm sure they'll have someone else do that. But fear not, we'll have somebody talking to the Nexus Guild. I'm sure this will be cleared up.
I guess the only other favor I can think of is, well, we didn't want to leave behind the body of a fallen, but we're not really especially equipped to deal with this
Yeah.
one's final affairs.
I see. So he gestures over to some of the other guards who are also on the patrol, and then he whispers to them for a while, and he says, well, please leave the body here, and we'll have a runner, and we will take care of it.
All right, thank you.
And a couple of the guards kind of stand around the body, whereas you see a younger fellow not wearing armor kind of run off. Says, yes, he'll go get the help we need. You are free to go.
All right, thank you. So Ragu and I'll go meet up with Oreo and Sam, and I'm thinking we should probably at least take Sam to meet Carl, and then we can potentially do the temple thing, and while you work your magic.
I mean, do we really have to take him to the temple? Or, I mean,
Oh no, you did
question.
mention the apothecary, so
Yeah, and I want to make a question to Galen. Would he know if something like just giving him a long rest and just giving him time to heal on his own, if he would get better? Because he, I just want to be from a medicine side, if that's what I would get from
Yeah,
Galen's analysis.
yeah. He basically tells you that he's basically drained, and it's like, but yeah, he'll gain back his energy over time by just eating and drinking and resting and that kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, then I would rather he be at the apothecary for now. No offense or anything.
all right,
I really don't want to deal with religious folk. He really doesn't like talking to them.
fair enough. All right, well, in that case, off to the Nexus Guild.
Okay. All right. So you arrive at the guild. Let's go ahead and move you down here. There we go. All right. You arrive, and as you approach, as you go up to the door, Elru walks up behind you, Oreo, and taps you on the shoulder. She
Does she
smiles.
does she really get a surprise at this point? Like Oreo's been pretty damn stealthy and stuff. Like I feel like she'd have to make some sort of roll to kind of detect her. Like I don't know if it's an automatic. Oh, she can get sneaked on at this point.
Okay.
Super mega expertise.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
like
Fair enough.
yeah.
Yeah, the rest of us maybe, but yeah, Oreo's sneaky enough. She should have a skill.
All right. Let's see. What is your passive?
It's a 20, so it still beats it, but still, like
Okay. So
I want to say still that Oreo's like, like she's
fair enough. You get a roll, but yeah. So she taps you on the shoulder. You thought you heard something, but you're not sure. And then Elru waves at you.
mm, you're not good. I'm getting too good for you, I think. Anyway,
You're
we're
getting
here to talk
there.
to
You're
Carl.
getting there. Maybe in another 10 years. She winks at
Ha!
you.
Ha!
Hey,
Okay,
you're
where's
a sneaky one.
Anyway, so she kind of bounces around. Who's that? And she points at Sam.
Uh, he we found him
He
at
is our
a
surviving
hatchery.
witness.
Oh, okay. Um, I'll go tell Carl you're here. And then she goes inside. Please wait here. And she goes inside. And so it takes her about 5 minutes to come back. So did you guys do anything during those 5 minutes?
Um,
not. I don't think so. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, no.
So she comes back out and she says, "Okay, Carl has a few minutes, so go ahead and come on in." So she leads you in, and you can see Carl is he's behind his desk, and you can see the stack of papers that he's seems to be leafing through. And then he says, "All right, come on in, come on in."
Just to be sure, this is still the same night that we got asked to do this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
same
Okay.
day. It's not even nighttime yet.
yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna stop before the whole. We had the meeting that precedes the actual expedition. All right.
Mm.
Anyway, so he has you come in, and then he puts down his papers. All right. Well, Elrus says that our friend Sam here was you found him at a hatchery. So care to explain?
Well, we pursued our lead on the hatchery. We found it, destroyed most, though not quite all of the Kylon. We did clear out the hatchery. There were a lot of eggs. I'm going to use minor illusion to basically generate kind of a little mini map of it and just kind of show the eggs and the Kylon that we found at the time. This is how we found the place.
Mm, come on, man. No need to exaggerate.
Send your men. You'll find a lot of egg fragments there. Keep in mind that we did use some dirty tricks in order to make the fight manageable. But and a lot of those were just young and hatchlings. But anyway,
My de-
that hatchery
my
is clear. And you're saying something, Ragu?
Oh, sorry. I was just going to add, yeah, exaggeration. My desperate need of new clothes that aren't burnt is. We were not exaggerating.
He looks up at you and he says, "Now that you mention it, good point. Apologies, I've been rather busy and didn't even notice the poor shape you're in. Do you need healing?"
I could use some healing, but I I have the liquid metal
Yeah.
skin, so I actually have like plain old traveling clothes on over top of it, and my clothes are all burnt off, but it's just shiny metal underneath.
Fair enough. And he looks at Pico and it's like, "You're not doing too great either." Um,
Yeah, although I have to say, not being a bleeder is pretty nice, and I just kind of use a finger to sort of spread open a wound and then kind of push it closed again.
Please don't do that. We'll get you some healing on the way out. Don't worry, we'll get you all healed up. You have an expedition tomorrow anyway, so we don't want you going like that. He points at your wound.
You'll get used to it over time, I promise.
There
If you
is
say
there is
so.
one there
So,
is one problem we did find about the nest.
which is why I mentioned we didn't take care of all of them.
Yes, but the bigger detail is that one apparently got away around 4 or 5 days ago, so it was before we got to the nest. But we were able to track it out a little bit. The problem is we believe it is a single adult Kylon that is still loose in the city. And we might need to have some exploratory forces looking to see if they can find tracks or where it might generally be hiding.
We immediately alerted the guards in the area, so just to have them on guard. But yeah, that may not be enough.
I see. Well, we have some people that should be able to take care of it. You'll. Where exactly did you find the nest?
Underneath the Blackstone Blade. Um, there's in in a storage area on the east side of the building, just beyond one of their forge rooms. There were some boxes, and underneath that was a hatch that leads down below. There were three storage rooms and two rather large cells. Well, as seen in the Minor Illusion. Something interesting, though, that we found was while there were a lot of bodies in the cells that were, as you would expect, the usual kind of ashy stone left behind, we did find some intact bodies. One of which was attacked by Kylon but not fully turned to stone. The other ones were stabbed. So it seems like there might be some dissent among their ranks. And if nothing else, it's quite clear that they are not very good at fully controlling these things. But um, Oreo also found where they were shredding, because we'd found some of them that escaped their cage and were shredding a bunch of the cloaks. So it looks like these Kylon might, surprise, surprise, hold some resentment against their captors.
I see. So
And
we.
we believe the captors are the sword of justice if we have not failed to know that already.
And I'll hold up the cloaks to show them what they were wearing.
He looks at him and says, I see. Well, dissent among the ranks in these cults is a benefit, I believe, overall. Even if it does make them less predictable and more dangerous in some ways. Well, good work. Thank you for finding this. I will definitely send men there as soon as possible. And I'm sure we'll be hearing from the garrison if you contacted the guards. So, what
Yep.
exactly did you tell the guards about yourselves?
Just that we are special investigators from the Nexus, that our name is the Cavalry, and our point of contact is Elru.
Okay, got it. So when they come to talk to us, we'll know what to expect. Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have to thank you for that, and of course, having having that situated, it will be most welcome. If you have the cloaks, if I may have them, or at least most of them. Um,
Yeah. I hand them all over.
we have some material evidence until we can get people over there at least. And so with this, I can justify. And he pulls out some sacks, and he says it's not much, but in each of these sacks, he hands you three sacks, one for each of you who are currently present. Um, the others would have stayed behind. Is 5 platinum. So you get 3 sacks of 5 platinum, one for each character that's present.
All right. And by the way, two of those bodies were still recognizable. I can show you what those people looked like if that helps.
Yes, but wait one moment. He goes to the door and opens it. You see him gesturing to somebody, and then he whispers to Elru, and then she runs off. And then a few minutes later, a another person kind of comes walking up, who has he seems to have some sort of crystal in his hand, and then he leads him in. He's wearing kind of brown robes. It's like show your images to him.
All right, and then I go ahead and take the form of each of those individuals.
And as you do so, the person in the robes kind of holds up his crystal, and then he says some sort of incantation, and you see the images appear inside, and then he puts it away, and then he leaves. And Carl says, "Thank you. This way we have an actual visual record that we can call forth in the future."
And that'll also include the wounds that they had taken, which will for what that's worth.
Okay. All right then. He kind of bows his head a little, and you can tell he kind of sits down wearily and looks at his papers, and then he looks back at you and he says, "Get some rest. We'll handle the Kylon while you're gone, and please prepare yourselves and have everyone else come with you in the morning and." When you do so, you will have those artifacts for you to choose from, like we had promised, and more information about the expedition itself.
All right. If there's any issues with the Blackstone blade, we can also show you an alternate method into the hatchery. Although we sealed that on the way out.
No, if we need to have some interrogations done and figure out exactly who knows what, if you know what I mean. So
All
we
right.
will be going in through the legal route. Anyway, please, on your way out, Elru will escort you to a separate office where you will get healing, and then from there, please get some rest.
Yep. Well, I got errands to run first.
So Elru kind of escorts you down the hall and to another office, and then you see some clerics, or a cleric in there, and then he says, "Please sit down, and I will attend to your wounds." And at this point in time, Ragu and Pico, your wounds are healed.
Yay! All right. It is nice not being 2/3 dead.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you're escorted from the building, and at that point, I take you back to the map. So what do you do next?
Well, I guess we'll take Sam over to the apothecary, and also it's like, well, I realize I still need to talk to the apothecary guild.
Okay, yeah, you take Sam over to the apothecary, and as you're escorting him, he still seems out of it and still in shock. But he does seem noticeably happier now, even if he's still somewhat unresponsive. And you also notice that he's sticking really close to Oreo for some reason.
Yeah, she'll make it like give him rations or something along the way, keep him company. So she'll definitely let him kind of, be cool and calm.
Okay. So yeah, he seems comforted by that, and you arrive at the apothecary, and there you find Ire also being unresponsive, but for different reasons. And yeah, you drop him off. So what do you do from there?
So many herbalism questions. How can one plant spawn so many inquiries? Does not compute.
Yeah, he would
All
glitch out after that.
right.
It's a
All
little
right.
bit like that episode of this is going to be meta, but a little bit like that episode of Star Trek where Data creates another android, and that android just keeps asking questions until it's like that.
Jeez.
All right. Well, this will be your home for tonight. You'll be in the capable hands of Ire here at the very least, and we got Sheila around where.
You notice that as he sees Ire, uh, he uh, he kind of backs up real quick and hides behind a counter.
It's all right. I mean, look and just I know Ira isn't here, but I'm just gonna do like the knock on his head like lightly, like see he's not even really operational right now. He's cool.
He
You can
pokes
relax.
out and he says, "Yeah, there was this thing that looked kind of like him that I saw in the hatchery once for a little while, and then it left. It's
You
with
mean
them.
a walking,
Was
a
it
walking mental
suspiciously
man like him?
cheery?
Yeah.
I think I know exactly who you're talking about.
How long ago was that? Do you remember?
That
Um,
was at the
No,
Probably.
no, no. I'm asking.
Floggenhagen.
I know, but I'm asking the survivor how long ago he remembers seeing that person.
Probably a couple of weeks.
Hmm. Okay.
And eventually
Alrighty.
he comes out seeing Ire not moving. Okay.
Yeah, he's fine.
You sure?
If he becomes operational, the most you're ever gonna get is, "Hey," and that's about it. So you're fine.
He's
Well,
gonna want to
tell you
talk
what,
to you about the god.
you'll have Galen here who, can help keep an eye on things. And yeah, Ire here, he's helped us fight plenty of Kylon before. Just due to circumstances, we weren't able to have him come along. But no, you're in good hands with him.
Actually, and well, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. When as Pico's saying that, the guy kind of turns toward Oreo, and so he's okay.
Yes, he's absolutely okay. In fact, I think I might have a better idea for you here, but I want you to be a bit healthier first. So why don't you just take it easy, calm down. You're fine. You're safe here.
All right. He comes out and then kind of just sits in a chair.
You did say that you had mining experience.
A bit, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, she's gonna keep that in. Yeah, she kind of said that out loud for you guys to hear, but she goes, okay, well, worth it. Do we have any extra food in the storage, guys? Maybe some stuff that he can kind of munch on or something while we
We've
take care of other
we've got
business.
some extra. We've got some extra rations and stuff. Yes.
Yeah. Well,
There is stuff here. Yeah.
I
Maybe we'll
introduced
pick
him to
up
the
a meal on
kitchen.
the way back.
Well, we'll introduce him to the kitchen so he can get acquainted, and then we can carry on with whatever you guys want to do for the day.
Okay. So yeah, he starts munching on the food, fruits or what have you, and then he seems to become distant again. All right. So what do you guys do?
Well, I plan to go talk to the Apothecary Guild. Do either of you want to go along?
I'll take a look.
Sure.
This will be bureaucracy.
Yep.
Okay.
Fun.
So you make your way to the guild district once again, and as you're going down the street, actually I can actually show you the map because you've actually been there before.
Oh no, the Apothecary Guild's the Walpurgin.
No, not quite that. Hold on. Sorry, I'm looking for the map. There it is. Anyway, you eventually make your way, and you can ignore all of these.
Oh, yes, we have been here before.
You can ignore all of these, but the Apothecary Guild happens to be right down the street.
Alrighty.
Um,
I just kind of awkwardly glance over where I dug up not all that long ago.
Yeah.
yep.
We kind of just patched over the lawn.
All right. So yeah, you
Christ.
arrive at the guild. The door is closed, but it's clearly labeled Apothecary Guild. So what do you do?
Guess we'll open the door unless it's a knock situation.
Okay. Now the door's unlocked, and they're big double doors. So you open it up, and you see this large waiting area. You can see chairs, and you see a front counter with a female, either a young elf or a half elf, who's sitting behind the counter, and she waves, "Your name and business, please."
Pico, I was requested to speak to the Apothecary Guild regarding, oh shoot, what was the name of the place? Lavinia's, I'll say the name of the shop.
Lavinia's Herbs and Healing.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. I assume that you brought the notice of property taxes and the deed.
Uh, Actually, I'll have to go get that.
Okay, very good.
I'll go ahead and rush off to deal with that. Yeah, I guess, yeah. So I'll run back to the Because technically that stuff's still at the inn right now. So run to the inn, get the paperwork, come back.
Okay, so you come back and you see the same lady behind the counter. Oh, I see you're back, Mr. Pico. I assume you have your paperwork now?
Yep, here it is.
Very good. So please have a seat, um, and I will call you when we're ready to see you. And then she points to the chairs.
And
All
no
right.
kidding, this really turned into a tax season session. Okay.
All right, so yes, she has you sit, and then you can see the room is decorated with plants of various types. You can see on the walls various papers that describe, like the life cycle of various plants and talk about, various types of herbs and whatnot. And you can see several people come in and leave. Some people sit down next to you and, kind of tapping their feet as they wait. And eventually they call, is there a Pico here waiting? Hey, Pico?
Yep, I go ahead and stand up.
Please come this way. Are you the sole owner of Lavinia's apothecary, or I mean, herbs and healing, or are there multiple owners?
Uh, Currently, I am the only owner, but there may be other people added to the deed later. I do have two of those people here with me right now.
Very good. Um, if they are currently not on the deed, then they can wait here. Please follow me.
Mhm.
So she takes you back to an office and has you sit. Please sit at this table. Someone will come to talk to you in a moment. And then she leaves.
All right.
I'm excited for next week's DMV session. Just say it.
So,
Get the license plates for Ira's horse.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
anyway, so 5 minutes later, a burly-looking dwarf walks in to the office where you're waiting, Pico, and he sits and he says, "Very good. You wish to become an official member of the guild?
Yes.
Very good. He hands you some scrolls. Please read and sign." And as per your notice of property fees and taxes, your dues of 360 silvers is due today.
360, you said?
360 silvers. That is your guild dues for the year.
Okay. Annual.
And that will be, and next year at the same time, you will owe the same amount. It basically depends on when you first join. There are some additional fees for not coming proactively and dealing with this, but I've decided to waive those after hearing the reasons for the sudden change of ownership. So you are good there. And well, that is basically it. Once you fill out your paperwork, don't worry, it won't take you any more than 30 minutes. And once you're finished, then you will be the newest member of the guild. Congratulations.
Thank you. All right. Well, I go ahead and hand him 3 platinum and 6 golds. That should be 360. And I'll go ahead and put on my eyes of minute seeing. Go ahead and study the paperwork. And go ahead and sign off. I don't see anything objectionable.
Well, you're reading it. Let's see. Go ahead and give me an intelligence check to see how well you can read through the legalese.
Okay.
Unless you have any special skills for that.
Not especially.
Okay.
Oh,
It's
wow.
fine.
It's like reading your standard software EULA. It's like, oh god.
Yeah, it's basically a jumbled mess of words that's, you're not even sure what it's saying exactly, but you think it's fine.
All right.
All right, so is anybody else doing anything while they're waiting for half an hour for Pico to finish?
Orio's just gonna be on her chair, just like hanging her feet off the chair, just playing around, and then twiddling with her little charms again, just patting on them with a paw.
Fair
She's
enough.
bored as hell.
I'm just gonna be making small talk with Oreo about how I've noticed how your technique is improved and yada yada and doing good
She's
and
full on distracted by her charm, so good luck.
Oh, bureaucracy, the cruelest of prisons.
All right.
Oh,
So
he left her with us. Damn. Okay. Well, forget it.
So half an hour passes, Pico, and you're finally done. Your hand is cramping from all the signing, and if you have to sign anything within the next 1,000 years, it will be too soon. But and then you're escorted from the room. And as you're escorted away, you're given a badge that you can hang around either around your neck on a chain or attached to clothing. And it has the logo of the Apothecary Guild. And says, "You are now official member of the guild, son. I hope you do us proud. And if you need to come and you can come to the guild hall at any time to talk to other to others, to your peers. Trade secrets if you wish. Although honestly, most of them keep the secrets to themselves, but at least learn the more obvious stuff. So, congratulations. All right. So you see Pico being escorted out. You guys are all in the lobby now. So what do you do?
As boring as it surely was out here, you guys probably dodged a bullet by not being on the paperwork. And I just shake off my hand.
Yeah.
Ow. I don't. Kylon didn't hurt that much.
Are
All
you
right.
are you at least done with all of that stuff for good or for a bit or whatnot?
Well, we'll see. I think once my daughter shows up, she's going to have a heck of a time dealing with that herself. Well, that's 3 weeks away by my estimate.
Mm, fair enough.
All right. So I'm taking it you leave the apothecary. So what's next? And if you guys are done for the night, we can stop early so that everybody else can be there fresh for the expedition tomorrow.
Yeah. Let me make sure here.
The only thing that Oreo would have pending, because she had forgotten to do this, and she did tell her guild that she would do this, is she'd take the time to go back to her guild to report on the so-called Walpurgin thing for her leader, because he wanted to know more about that stuff.
Okay. So yeah. So you go back to your guild and you go to report, and eventually you are escorted to a room with just one person in it, and you recognize him as the person who asked you about the winner. And he says, "So, how was it?"
Not what I expected, but I have a feeling you already knew that.
Yes. Did you see the one in the mask?
I did. He apparently always wins or something. I don't
You
know. He looked like he just had a pretty big predominance in the room or something.
and I take it you managed to avoid getting ousted.
Of course. The hell you call? You're talking to Oreo here. What the hell are you talking about? Yeah, I'm not gonna be ousted.
Um,
Well, out of character, you do know ire.
Yeah.
I was less worried about you and perhaps any allies you might bring along. There,
Why?
well, let's just say that the I know of the arrest record of the raging ire.
Ah, them. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There's something really fishy about how things ended. One of those in my party seems to have maybe not been well by the end of it, but we aren't exactly sure of what.
He was not well. What do you mean?
Well, uh, I'm not fully, and this is just genuinely her because I don't have my notes, and she's just, I'm gonna go off with what she would remember at the moment,
Okay.
and she's just going to say that uh, she doesn't remember the full details, but I get the impression that it's kind of like he got spiked with something, but I don't know what.
I see. Is he still well? Is he alive?
Yes, I believe he got himself taken care of, but it was one hell of an ordeal, and we had to go through a lot of favors just to make sure that he got better. So,
Oh.
do you know if that's something that is known about that individual, or if that individual has any particular, I don't know, thing
I'm
against new arrivals?
I I don't know much about him. He is enigmatic. I was actually hoping that perhaps you would learn more, but it sounds like he is up to his old tricks. But
Wait, you know who he is?
not exactly, but I know of the masked figure. And
How about you share your knowledge with me, and I can probably get you some more information.
well, it's interesting that there seems to be a several groups who are acting independently in ways that probably aren't in our best interest. One of these groups seems to have an unhealthy obsession with the Kylon, and the other group seems to have an unhealthy obsession with, well, the downfall of society in general. And what's interesting is that there is a masked figure that I've seen in the context of both groups. So I'm curious as what role he plays.
The same masked figure or different masked figure in each
I
group?
think it's the same one, which is odd because the groups otherwise can't. The groups can't stand each other. Their purposes are different. So why would the same figure be involved?
And nobody in the guild has bothered to find any more information
Oh,
ahead of.
we've been digging and trying to find out ourselves, and this seemed like a good opportunity, which is why we made sure you had your invitation because it was believed that you might be able to infiltrate. We, our people, have had a tougher time because it's almost as if the masked man knows us.
They don't, but he doesn't know me necessarily.
Exactly.
What if I stayed? Well, correction. She doesn't exactly say those words, but she says, "What if I could be of more use to you if I had the guild's backup here?"
In what way?
Uh, I mean, I'm been told that I have an expedition to take off to, but if this is as critical as it seems, maybe my expertise might be better off here.
What is the purpose of this expedition?
And this is her again, genuinely trying to remember the details, and she doesn't remember the details. So she's like, the guys know
Can we
about this
help
more than
out
I
of
do.
character or no?
No, I'm playing her genuinely like she just doesn't remember right now. Like she's going off of the guys know better than I do at this point. I'm not saying that I'm not as interested or anything. It's just this is a pretty big deal if it's the same individual playing two parts that are trying to promote more chaos. And if we're gone for what potentially is a week, but shit really gets bad, I should probably be here just to figure out what it is. And by the time they come back, I can get the team to help with whatever might be needed at that point.
That is tempting. However, I believe that your expedition, what was it? You were going to the city again, were you not?
I believe so, to retrieve something specific, but well,
Yes, I believe there is something we need, something that may help with this. So, no, stick with your expedition. But once you return, I believe we could put you to some good use here.
okay. But you said there's something in the city that you needed?
I believe so. When you'll find it amongst your things once you go for your briefing, I'm sure.
Ah, all right. Okay. I'll trust your word on it. I mean, you guys have been pretty good about the details you guys have shared in the past expedition, so I'm not gonna question that.
He bows his head and he says, "Well, thank you for your work." And he passes his hand over yours, and you have a small black bag in your hand. And he says, "If there will be nothing else, I have my own work to attend to."
No, yeah, absolutely. Thank you, and thank you. And she kind of shakes the bag to him, like, you
Yeah,
know,
there's coins in
appreciate it.
there.
Yep, I figured. She's gonna just nod, give him the thank you very much, and then she'll take her leave.
Okay. So as you leave, you look in the bag at some point, I'm sure, and you find 100 gold coins.
Oh, sweet. Thank you. I will meet right back up with the guys. I mean, I'm gonna go back to the apothecary. I don't know if that's where they're at, so if that's where I find
Okay,
them,
so you're
then.
heading for the apothecary. So in the meantime, while Oreo was gone, Pico and Ragu, are you doing anything?
Did we have any other errands?
I can't think of anything offhand. I don't have anything written down.
Fair enough. Are you guys actually going back to the apothecary or to your inn?
Um, Given the concern about Sam and being with Ire, maybe staying at the apothecary for the night wouldn't be a bad idea.
Okay, and Ragu, are you going with Pico?
Um, yeah, I'm gonna go to the inn and grab a few things and then go to the apothecary.
Okay, fair
I'll
enough.
catch up with you, Pico.
So, Pico, you arrive and you see Ire hasn't moved, and you see that there's a good chunk of your food supply that you can see the crumbs on the table as the prisoner seems to be stuffing himself. Um, and then Charla's uh, busying herself in the garden, and eventually Oreo arrives.
It's
Oh,
good to see
hey.
that you have an appetite. Oh, hey, how you doing?
Doing good. She says that with a bit of like a concerned face, and she goes, "I think we need to have a chat for a second." And I look at the individual that we've saved, and it's like, maybe not here.
No problem.
Um,
Let's just go
well,
upstairs. Oh, go ahead. Well,
yeah, upstairs is fine.
Okay, let's go upstairs.
Okay,
Um,
I'm gonna go ahead
once
and move you. Go ahead and talk. I'm just gonna move you so you have some background.
Okay. Once we're in the room, I'm going to just be like, so I just wanted to report back because I completely had forgotten to do that when we first left the Walpurgin thing, but I got some interesting information that I didn't think would even come up or anything. Turns out that that masked figure might be working a lot more behind the scenes than we think, and then she's gonna take the time to deliberately repeat a lot of the information that was shared to her by the guild.
okay.
Well, one thing based on what you found out that I think is interesting is so okay, if they were wondering about why this person would be behind both groups, if this person really is looking for the downfall of society, I don't think the nobles, or well, the sort of justice being incompetent, relatively speaking, is necessarily a problem here. You know, basically taking advantage
Perhaps
of
the
them to
sword
sow
of
this discord.
justice. Yes, perhaps the sword of justice, if it really was built and managed by the same person. was built purposely to be incompetent in order to cause chaos and have someone else to look back at as a scapegoat to allow him to continue his machinations.
But
Having a
that,
distraction.
right. No, 100%. I completely agree with all of that. But my fear here is that if he has to cover up this way, there's probably something much more sinister that they're coming up with if they have to go through all this trouble to get a scapegoat. What if there's something else
Yes,
that's beyond the just creating chaos that we aren't seeing here?
I think he might be taking over. I mean, we have a group here who wants to destroy all of government, and another group that wants to, sow the seeds. And I'm thinking, if you destroy the whole government, then you are the only power. Then you can, stay hidden. And then when the government is destroyed, you come out and say, "I am the only power left," and you automatically become the new government for the whole world. You
Yeah,
understand? Did I say that right?
yeah, no, I understood what you're saying, and I think that that's a definitely a valid point. It just, it completely, it shook me a little bit because if I don't recall us seeing another masked figure that way in the other group, at least as far as I can recall. And again, she's genuinely going off of what she remembers, and I don't remember putting any notes down. So I can't remember if there's a masked figure like that in the other group, in the cultist group. If you guys
We
remember
do know
one.
that we do know that the head of the cultist group is a man who goes by the name of the Warlock, but we have never seen him. He might very well wear a mask. We do not know this.
Okay, well, if that's a lead, and then it looks like these people have been doing a lot of legwork lately to try and investigate this matter, and it's probably the reason why he wanted us to kind of step in and see what we could learn about him.
How about we ask Jared? He's been focusing a lot on the gray cult. Um, Maybe putting the idea of a masked man on his radar might be useful.
Yes, I
Where
do
is
know that.
Jared again?
He's going to meet us at the Golden Dice. I think the last time we met, he said he'd be there daily. So we could potentially meet with him probably here within an hour or so.
Mm,
Just
And
quick conversation.
I do know also that our contact at the Nexus Guild, Carlton, and my good friend Gimbal, they both remember many years ago this Warlock man, and they are both very well. They're afraid of him. Yeah, I do not know how to put it so gently. They are afraid of him. So this is definitely a most serious person.
okay. Well, I mean, if you guys think it's worthwhile to get Jared involved now, then we can certainly try and do that. I mean, otherwise,
Well,
I think
I
it's
don't
just
think it's so much. I don't think we'll so much get Jared involved. We'll just pump him for information for us.
Yeah,
okay.
mainly we just, if he knows anything about a masked figure in the gray cult, it'd be handy to know. And if he's not aware of one, it's probably not a bad idea to have him start looking.
Mm, yeah, good point. Okay. But yeah, that's pretty much the main gist of it is what I learned from that piece of information. So it seems like there's something definitely a lot bigger maybe going on that we've yet to kind of fully get our hands on.
Okay.
Yeah, the fact that he's behind both groups is definitely a concern because, yeah, I mean, these are two big plots, but you tie them together and that's a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I guess matter with Sam here, he- when I was getting a chance to chat with him about, more of his background, whether or not, it sounded like he was pretty good with, mining and things with stonework. I almost figured if you guys were cool with it, maybe he could just, while he obviously gets recovered, and we can give him a little bit of a job to help out here while we're away or doing stuff. I mean, if he'll have Sheila as company, but I was planning to settle him in the same area that I settled the other folks that survived the last thing that the prison thing that they went through.
That is not a very bad idea. I'm liking that. If he is willing, of course,
Of course,
to put
that's
his back into it. Yes.
correct. And I didn't want to necessarily just plant that out there right immediately. So I was maybe hoping that once we come back, I'll give that idea a try because by then hopefully feel a lot better. I don't know how he'll be by the time we come back.
Yeah, we can give that some thought. Yeah, that does sound like a interesting idea.
Okay. No, that's pretty much all I've got to share with you guys. Didn't want to just leave this all out in the open up the downstairs, so just yeah.
Okay. Of course, of course.
Well, in that case, I guess maybe our last big thing of the day is to make a quick trip to the Golden Dice around, what, 7 o'clock?
The impression this was all happening at nighttime, Jeremy. It was just really all happening during the day when we went to do the whole thing with the hatchery and whatnot.
It was probably
Yeah,
later in the
because the
day, but it
Kylons,
was still sunlight out. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
the Kylons get more powerful at night.
All right. So, are you guys just gonna wait out any extra time and then head to the Golden Dice?
Yep, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and move you. Okay, come on. There you go. Oh, I didn't place you guys yet. Oh, actually, you're right here. All right, we'll just do this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you arrive at the Golden Dice, and today doesn't seem particularly busy. I mean, there's still people inside, of course, but you don't really see a line to get in. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and the bouncer at this point in time. Oh, actually, I should ask first. Pico, do you look like your normal self?
Yes.
Okay, so at this point in time, he recognizes you, so he just waves you by.
Mm-hmm. And I wave to him as well, a nod to him, I guess makes more sense as we go through.
All right, so he waves everybody through, and you can see that Jared seems to be eating some soup and drinking some ale.
All right, go ahead and come up and take a seat.
All right, he looks over at you and he nods. He says, "Waitress," and a waitress comes by. The waitress looks at the two of you. Um,
Three of us.
Well,
okay,
where are you then?
I'll
Because I
go
don't
ahead.
see you.
I
I'll
don't
go
know.
ahead and
My
move him up.
my computer's refreshing. I'm listening through my phone right now. My computer's refreshing.
Okay, no problem. Anyway, so the waitress asks you, would you like drinks?
Yeah. Instead of an ale this time, maybe I'll just go ahead and go with a red wine.
Okay, and you, she points at you, Ragu.
Uh, if they have any strong jaw, I'll take a good strong ale.
Okay, she nods and then moves over to Oreo. And you, my lady?
Ale's fine.
Okay, and Jared says it's on me, and then she goes to get your drinks. All right then. I'm sure you're not just here to sample the drinks here. So, is there anything do you have to report or anything that you need?
We do have something to report, and but first a question. Um, have you been aware of any masked individual involved with the Gray Cult?
He thinks for a moment, and he says, "I thought one of my allies mentioned seeing somebody in a strange mask at one point, but you never saw him again. So unfortunately, I don't know who he was or she was."
The reason I ask is because we were having or we were investigating the Sword of Justice. Let's see, are you familiar with them?
I'm aware of them. Yes.
Yeah, well, they've got their own thing. They seem to be delighting in trying to breed Kylon. Anyway,
He slaps his face. Go ahead.
Anyway, it turns out that there's a masked individual that seems to have a very high profile among them, and we recently obtained some information that this masked individual is also apparently affiliated with the Gray Cult. And that's interesting since apparently these groups do not get along. So if there's somebody manipulating both groups, there could be something even bigger still than what it appeared.
Yeah, he actually looks a little bit white, and he says, "I wonder if this person is responsible then for." No, it couldn't be. Never mind. Uh, do you know anything else about this?
Responsible for what?
Yeah, even crazy theories. It's worth hearing them.
We do have a big bomb to drop. If you wanted to drop it there, Mr. Pico.
Sorry, say that again.
Well, I would rather hold off on
We
the
do have a
dropping
big.
bombs. Let's hold off on the dropping bombs until we hear the full theory here, Jared. What is it that you were thinking?
Well, you may not be aware of this, but when well, my brother is actually the head of House Lorgai. I sorry I kept this from you, but I am was a member of the House,
We've met him.
and well, shall we say that I did things for the House that are a burden on my soul. I did things. I killed people, and yet when I left, I left to just to get away from it all, and I took trusted allies of mine, and I retreated to my to one of our houses out in the country. And while I was out there, we were attacked by the Kylon, and somehow I survived. I don't even know how to this day. But yet, I brought this back. I lost my close friends, and I needed to find out where they came from. And then I come back to find the Maven leadership actively a- exploring these worlds, and I find the portals open and they're doing nothing about it. And I find that the Kylon came from these other worlds, and yet they did nothing. It's because it's because of this of them, because of this active this exploration, because of this sitting back and allowing creatures from other worlds to come and invade, that my friends all died. And I
I
wonder
do
if
not
the
believe
masked
that
man
is.
somehow is involved. Somehow he orchestrated this.
I do not believe that is the whole story, my friend. Um, the Kylon might have come from another world, but that other world did find a weapon against the Kylon, and we need to keep those portals open so we can explore it and find this weapon so we can
What
use it
weapon? I've heard of
ourselves.
no weapon. I've heard them sending people there, and other creatures coming. These machines and these
I know
tainted
that is why I'm
elves.
saying that is why I'm saying you are not in maybe the full facts, my friend. I know you've not heard of the weapon, but it is very quiet. I've been putting you in a position of privilege to say this. But the portals right now, the Kylon are already here. And our best bet to fight them is on the other side of those portals. I
And
know you
what
said that
proof
you
do
see
you
the
have that
government
there is
doing
any
nothing.
weapon?
A lot more than we can now say. It would take too many days. But you say that the government is doing nothing. That is not entirely true. There is an organization attempting to police and control. But there is another force that is attempting to use this to their advantage. And that is why we were telling you about this sort of justice who like to breed the Kylon and use them as weapons of terror. That is why the Kylon have such a strong influence here in our world right now, is because they're being helped along by these factions. The
And
thing that, oh, go ahead.
oh, oh, actually, keep talking.
The thing that we think we are now sure you do not yet know is, well, no offense, but you are a bit of an older man, so you have memory of the past, yeah? And you are a noble house here in the city, yes?
He nods.
What do you remember 20, maybe 30 years ago? Some scandal about a wizard in the academy?
Didn't we talk to him about that last meeting?
I do not believe so.
Uh,
And I'm currently looking through my notes because I'm trying to find the guy's name. It's Mirmir or something.
Miramir. I could have sworn we talked to Jared about this guy already.
Well, what he was just saying, he doesn't know that this Mirmir is going under the name the Warlock now, and the Warlock seems to be in charge or orchestrating both the Grey Cultists and the Sword of Justice.
So you're
And
saying
even
this
so,
masked man is the warlock?
we believe maybe he might be connected to him if he is not the man himself, but he is the one responsible for all of this. And he has the Sword of Justice creating chaos, and he has the Grey Cultists doing their thing in the sidelines, and they are creating distractions for each other, all working towards the same goal, but the two organizations do not realize that they are working towards the same goal, and they do not yet entirely understand the ramifications of the goals that they are working towards. But they are being orchestrated by a single individual man, the Warlock. Now, what
He's
do you remember of him 20, 30 years ago?
um, not
Mirmir.
not a lot. I do know that he was doing something, some sort of experiments that were considered forbidden, and he
And
was
he is,
removed from the arcane tower. And I might have said this before, but I believe he left willingly, which
yes,
was odd. But
because
unfortunately, the man himself, I myself am no wizard. I do not, I do not know much about him, unfortunately. But I did not
and
know
that is,
that you believed him to be this masked person. That that is new.
that is also another big point. Um, you are blaming the government for doing nothing. I do not believe your anger, though totally justifiable, might be misplaced. You see, it is this man and his machinations that have caused the Kylon to kill your friends. It is not the government. Maybe you should put your ire to, I think.
He seems thoughtful, but at the same time, he still seems conflicted. And he says, "Well, you've given me much to think on. If
Well,
Trust
here's
me, there is the
here
possibility of a weapon, and it is on the other side of those portals, and they do need to stay open.
because here's the thing. In fact, just early because uh, I realize it should probably be obvious. We are protected, right?
he nods,
Okay. We just came back from well, well, we came back from a really horrible encounter, but before that, we had just cleaned up a hatchery where the Kylon are being bred. Whatever unfortunate things happened from the
We lost you, Dave.
hold on, let me reconnect. All right. Any better?
Not yet. Talk some more.
Blah 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 blah.
I think it's working.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, so whatever damage may have been caused by the portals being opened, the thing is that damage is done. Closing them won't won't solve the problem, but there's more to that. But I'll get to that. The thing is, now that the Kylon are here, they've had the luxury of breeding these things. Are okay. So, and just to make sure, is it safe to show you an illusion in here?
No, we are protected. No, we are protected from people hearing us. We are not protected from people seeing us.
Okay.
I can do this. Put one hand flat, palm facing up. I cup my other hand over the first hand to make like a little cave or a little hole, like if I was holding a small mouse and hiding it. And then I point it directly at Jared so he's the only one that can see in. And I use prestidigitation to make a tiny illusion to help Pico,
What's the
since my
illusion?
hand's larger. Go ahead, Pico.
Oh,
As he's talking, I'm making the illusion.
okay.
Well, the idea is to actually show him the hatchery we just cleared out.
Oh, in that case, yep. Poof, hatchery illusion. In the palm of the hand, he can kind of see it.
Okay, he squints at it, and then he sees. I'm assuming you're showing all the eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as I'm doing that, I just keep casting my prestidigitation's minor illusion effect to give it some movement, so he can watch as the tiny little characters, basically on miniature, run around and start killing the Kylon and showing the eggs and stuff as Pico's describing what's going on.
I'm also going to take the opportunity, like, let's go ahead and do illusions of the well, the second encounter at the well, the
He
place, basically, and then, well, there weren't technically eggs that other hideout, but basically the whole point is that they've got multiple hatcheries around. They don't need the portal anymore. And if anything, it's to their advantage if they get the portals closed because they can home grow Kylon, and with the portals closed, the only potential ways to stop them are sealed off. And I know that you're dismissive of a weaponry, but I mean a weapon, but it's no secret we're working for the Nexus Guild. We were the first team to go into Lumev. The reason we know about the possibility of a weapon is we've seen the effects out there. We've seen information that leads to the existence of this because that world was also racked with war. We've seen violence and devastation. Most notably, we saw a big stone forest in a completely ruined city. We've seen what the Kylon could do if allowed to run rampant over Mavin or any city in this area. But the other thing that we saw was the areas that they didn't destroy. There was this line just where east of this line was just nothing but Kylon devastation. And on the west of it, a vibrant world teeming with life, just continuing on as if the Kylon had never existed. And exploring that dead area, we found horrors, but no Kylon. So clearly there's a way to stop them. We are actively looking for that. And if we can find that, we may be able to stop the Kylon once and for all. After that point, then we could decide what to do about portals or anything. But for the time being, the best chance to stop the Kylon is most likely on the other side of those.
So he's listening, so what I'm going to have you do is you're making a compelling argument, and certainly Ragu's helped you out. So I'm going to have you make a persuasion check with advantage, or Ragu can make it, whichever. Um,
what do you prefer, Dave?
Well, I think my charisma is slightly less awful than yours.
Okay.
And before I make that roll, I'm just also going to throw in the whole. Oh shoot! No,
Expert
I lost
guidance.
my. No, that's not really. That could backfire here. Um, no, it was just more the whole. God damn! I lost my train of thought because the roll thing. I'll just roll anyway.
Go ahead.
Uh,
Okay, so 16. So yeah, he nods and he says, "Well, you've given me a lot to think about, and at first I was weary of you, but I decided to trust you with the gray colt because, well, you did save my life, and it was clear that you were no friend of theirs, and you have done admirably in this. And while I still have my doubts about the government, I will put a little more trust in you for the time being to see if this weapon of yours is real. So, I have not told you this either, but I am the head of the Restorers of the Seal, an organization that has been working, sometimes using allies that I now regret, to close the portals. And for the time being, I we will stand down, and we will allow you. We'll not get in your way as you search for this weapon, because I want it to be real, and I hope it is. But
I have
this
faith it
this
is.
this truce this I is contingent on what you have said being true and you following through. So I certainly hope it is.
We will do our utmost, and thank you for not trying to shut down the portals. It
Yeah.
is really our only chance.
And we definitely do believe in many of the goals you do. I mean, we were alerted to the presence of other, or if we'd been hearing about the Kylon invasions, but were supposed to be sent through, we specifically, even though we know we're going on a dangerous mission, chose to take the fight to the Kylon. We didn't want to risk leaving that potentially unfinished for anybody else. So we are fully committed to stopping the Sword of Justice and the Gray Cult and bring some semblance of order to the Nexus. But yeah, I guess now that I've thinking about it, as far as the overall plan, if the Great Cult's trying to bring about kind of the downfall of the world, yeah, the fact that they've already got the Kylon in here, if they're allowed to keep those running around unchecked with nothing to stop them, then yeah, they've succeeded, and that's why we're so committed to trying to find this weapon, because it may actually be to the Warlock Maramir's uh, benefit if those portals get closed, because that could actually assure him success.
He nods and he says,
I
I will
mean,
certainly
sure,
think on your words, but you have convinced me for the moment to ally with your cause.
thank you.
I It will take some time, but perhaps there is more that I can do. But so let us speak again once you within a week or two.
And you do understand, my friend, that the Kylon are already here in the Nexus world.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, that was the point in the
And if we
hatcheries.
seal it now, we seal ourselves in with the monster.
Which is why I agreed to stand down for now.
Yes, but perhaps you have apparently you have um, a long arm and forces and allies. Perhaps you can turn them instead of closing the portals now that they are idle to hunting down the Kylon. Not that I am asking you or any of your peoples to fight them, but there is an adult Kylon loose in the city right now that we have not yet found. Perhaps if you can locate its its uh, its hideout or nest and maybe keep an eye and try and locate in the week that we are gone, that would be very helpful to us.
Mm.
We will take care of it if you can help locate it. Patrol, be vigilant.
Perhaps that would make sense. I am willing to have my people look into this. So agreed.
Thank you.
And when we come back from the expedition, we'll be sure to meet with you and let you know what we find out.
Thank you. You can see that he has this kind of sad look on his face, and he says, "Well, I was going to stay a bit longer, but if you excuse me, I will pay the tab, and I think I need to be alone for a while.
I understand.
Yeah, I'm sorry to bring, or we're sorry to bring so much bad news to you, but we're going to stop this one way or another.
He nods, and then he kind of gestures downward, and then you feel the air around you change slightly, and then he stands up,
Hmm.
and he just walks over to the counter, not actually moving Oreo. Sorry about that.
Hmm.
And then you can see him paying, and then he starts getting ready to leave. So what do you guys do?
I mean, if he wants to fight, I'm happy to fight. I mean, just say
Yeah,
the word.
he's like, get out of my way, milady. It's like, wow, Jared, your trilby is showing.
No, so he pays, and then eventually he finds his way out.
Hmm. All right, well, I guess we'll finish our drinks and then I guess head on probably back to the apothecary.
Okay, so yeah, you guys head back, and that is probably where we'll end the session.
Yep, that sounds like it'll work.
So let me go ahead and set up your experience, and then while I do that, you guys can talk amongst yourselves if you want to.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
think
there's any doubt about how the learning by failure played out.
I was gonna say I think we did a pretty good job swinging Jared. We've just turned he turned him into a pretty potent ally. If he's got a fingers throughout the city, he could help us find that adult Kylon quick.
Yeah, I do think that works out. It's, yeah, I'm glad we're kind of able to get mostly on the same page. Um, I was a little bit worried about that. I don't exactly have the best way with words.
Yeah, as I said, any help I could have given, but yeah,
Yeah,
my charisma is a 0.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
even if that didn't work, my alternative was to just guilt him into it because he did say that he felt bad about killing in the past. I'd say, well, you want to redeem yourself? This would be a good start. And
yeah.
maybe that would
That
have
would have
done
been
it.
good too. Yeah,
Ragu, did you miss twice?
yeah.
Oreo, did you miss or anything?
I don't think so.
All right. So
And
so there you go. So 1,750 experience points, and everybody or Pico and Ragu get 350 from learning by failure. And yeah, that will be it.
yeah, Ragu is really adding those ones up. So many of those deck saves.